Coming up in today's episode of Circle Back.
As little money as I actually had on this event, I rooted really hard for the Thunder. Like, insanely hard.
We're going like 7 months to go from 30 to 16 teams. Fucking kill me.
If you live in Washington, D.C. or close to the White House and you see Iran nuke in 2025, I don't know how you don't empty your bank account on the no. That's like a life hedge.
My kids better be nice to me or I'll leave their inheritance to a troll doxing charity.
He is anti-clutch. Like, there are guys who just fold under pressure.
Like
right?
a Justin Herbert.
Disclaimer. The content presented in this show is intended for entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of any individuals or organizations mentioned. Statements made about public figures or entities are based on publicly available information and are not intended to harm or defame any person or business. This show relies on fair use of social media posts, which are presented in good faith for the purpose of commentary and criticism. Viewers and listeners are advised to form their own opinions. Circle Back here on the Circles Off channel. It's part of the Hammer Betting Network and it's presented as always by Underdog. This is the show where we cover the latest trending stories from gambling Twitter. And if you're listening in audio form, you won't be able to tell that we are in our brand new studio. Yes, we are finally able to make it happen. Look at these three guys in frame here. We've got, first of all, Rob Pizzola, as always, CEO of The Hammer, professional sports bettor. We've got Jason Cooper, part of the Hammer's team as well, producer on the Forward Progress channel. Also a little bit of hosting there. And we also have Geoff Fienberg here with us of Mayo Media Network and wearing t-shirt fresh out of the freezer. How does that feel after in the scorching heat here in Toronto?
Yeah, it's a squincher today. Nuked this one in the freezer before I left. I even brought an extra shirt. See if they had a freezer here I could put in.
No freezer.
To change into after. But, we'll see. Once we get this office off the ground.
Yeah.
We need popsicles and freezies in office, so we're going to have to get a freezer.
Also, Geoff made the last-minute switch from shorts to pants.
Listen.
Doesn't want to get his legs
I want a
shot.
table. I want a table. I don't need... I watch enough podcasts, enough live show podcasts, enough in-studio podcasts.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the comedy ones. You see enough big guys in these sorts of chairs with shorts. I don't need gunt exposure. Jason's 24. He can pull it off. You don't need my shorts riding up, and next thing I know, you guys screen grab just a horrific gunt shot.
So you want you want a table here?
I would prefer a table.
You could put a table in here.
I've been asking for a table for a long time. Can you put a mug on the table?
I'm not really sure how that would work, to be honest.
We're going to have a side table.
Yeah, we'll give you a little
side
fine,
table.
But it doesn't help your gunt exposure.
No, I would like a table. You think Whoopi Goldberg doesn't get a table to cover her gunt?
Yeah, it's a little bit different though. A TV medium,
I'm just saying. I watch enough on stuff on the internet to know how it would end.
and it ends with your testicles on YouTube. Is what
Yeah,
you're
like
saying.
my little shorts riding up, belly into midsection. Just get it. Let me be.
Are those sweatpants? Because it is 95 degrees Fahrenheit here in
Yeah,
Canada
it's
right
training
now in Toronto.
camp. They're Chargers gear, but I brought a fan too. Don't worry. A warm.
That's not going to do anything but just blow hot air on you.
No, it's not
We had
actually
air
not so
conditioning
cold in
pumping
here. Yeah, I didn't mind.
Had the HVAC guy come in here, right? I walked into the studio today. I was like, oh my God, we're not going to be able to record.
Yeah, and you got me golfing in the heat tomorrow. I want to bail. I'm not going to lie.
I'll take a spot.
polar bear in that weather, I don't do well.
Yeah, plus once you get a couple joints in you, the heat's not your friend. Not at all.
Well, as long as I don't make a triple, then I don't smoke a joint.
Is that the rule? Triple is joint?
Listen, I had my best round ever going, like ever. And as much as I love a number, a nice day outdoors with your friends,
Yeah.
I don't want to let that opportunity go to not spark.
Yeah.
And I wanted to spark one so bad. My buddy wouldn't let me. He's one of those hardos, you know? Oh my God. Like hardo, about the full concentration, keep your routine, get right. And I'm like, listen, I want to make an 8 so bad so I can spark this. What do you know? Next hole on the 11th, made an 8. No longer chasing that number and enjoyed my afternoon.
There you go.
Because you don't want to spark one too close to the clubhouse. Like, I don't want to be getting in a car in like 40 minutes.
No, absolutely not. I agree with you.
So, like, there's like at a point
gotta do it
of
at the
no
beginning.
return.
You basically.
Well, I don't want to do it at the beginning either because I got to get off the mat.
My routine is like I play the first 4 or 5 holes, and then you kind of know what kind of day it's going to be from there. And if
Yeah, but I
it's
don't
going to be
like
a scoring day, you play for scoring.
I don't like hitting balls before anyway. So the first 3 holes, a little warm up.
Well, there it is. Yeah.
Well, let's get started with our topics here today. We record on Monday, so for us, the NBA Finals finished yesterday. We had the Oklahoma City Thunder get through it in Game 7, and it was a pretty unfortunate end to the series overall. I think OKC probably still would have won, but it would have been nice to see the Pacers' best play against the Oklahoma City Thunder's best, because unfortunately Tyrese Halliburton left the game early with a torn Achilles. I thought it was so stupid how they had Lisa Salters courtside. It was like, the Pacers have officially said it is a lower body injury and he will not return, as if we didn't just see this guy rupture his Achilles. And then like Mike Breen kept talking about like how tough it was to watch. So let's watch it 400 fucking times on the broadcast where you can see his tendon snap. What did you guys make overall of the decision before we go into like further talks? What did you make of the decision from the Pacers and from Halliburton himself to play in this game, considering there was the injury risk there?
It's Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Like, if you can give it a go, you give it a go. Obviously, there's risk when you enter with a pre-existing injury and anything, but like, this is what players play for. So, I mean, very unfortunate what happened. Unfortunate for Halliburton and Pacers Nation. I'll say not unfortunate for the majority of gambling Twitter who didn't want to see a couple people parade around with their winning tickets for like the next 6 to 12 months. But it's Game 7 of the Finals. Like, if you can play, you're gonna play. You see, all sorts of athletes play through injuries all the time. So I don't know. I think it's kind of like a non-issue. It's revisionist type of history.
You seem really distraught that the poors are staying poor, Rob.
You know what?
I
gotta
more
tell you.
Pinterest photos.
So I did have OKC Finals bet. This is nothing to write. Like, this is not anything that I was personally rooting. It was against my betting partner. Was born and raised in Indianapolis, and he's a big Pacers fan. And we basically just crossed like Vig Free Price at the beginning of the series because I thought the Thunder were going to win. So I'm rooting for the Thunder for my own, personal bet. We have, I know a lot of people who had positions on the Thunder to win the NBA title, Flupp being one of them, that he's been talking about it a lot, Mr. Peanut Better, guys like that. I was rooting for that. But like, ultimately, for as little money as I actually had on this event, I rooted really hard for the Thunder, like insanely hard. I don't show a lot of emotion when I'm watching. Those who watch the Forward Progress live watch-alongs, even when it's a Cowboys game, I show like a little emotion here and there. Sometimes we hit like a big winner and I'll fist bump or whatever. But I was like standing for this game. The third quarter, when the Thunder went on that run, that was a great moment for me. So I was very invested because other people were invested, if that makes sense. Whereas I probably wouldn't have given a shit about this finals.
Yeah, I was invested as well. I had like a little bit on OKC to win the title, but also like I kind of built the Pacers up this playoff series as the enemy in my head for a couple reasons. Number one,
Halliburton.
Okay, well, I wasn't going to bring that up, but I was just going to bring up the fact that their path to the
Look
finals.
like a man that's afraid with this mustache.
Their path to the finals was like riddled with injuries, right? They got incredible injury luck here, and I don't want to say like comeuppance for them that where their star player got hurt, but it's like, okay, now you're seeing what the other teams deal with. Also, they had those 3-4 crazy come from behind victories that I was not a part of, and I saw other people get in on it, and I was so pissed off about it that I didn't get in on. I'm like, fuck this team. I want them to lose at all costs now. So, happy that OKC won. Not a fan of the Pacers.
Pretty embarrassed to admit, I fell asleep like watching the game early in the game, and then I woke up and I didn't. Not a lot of time passed, and I couldn't figure out what had happened. And my phone was in the other room charging because it died earlier. And it took me a while to realize that Halliburton was hurt.
Yeah.
And it was like a close game, and the Pacers were scrappy, and then
Then it just got away from them.
Yeah.
10 turnovers in the third quarter will do it to you.
Well, on the Halliburton injury, some people thought that maybe Halliburton was faking the injury. Mr. Peanut Butter said the idea Halliburton was actually close to sitting seems pretty far-fetched at this point. My man is skipping around in warm-ups. And then later in the game, yes, he does tear his Achilles. It's similar to the Kevin Durant situation, Game 5 of the 2019 NBA Finals, because there was question marks about his health. He played. He looked really, really good in the first quarter of that game.
Yeah.
And tore his Achilles and missed the entirety of the next season. So not the first time something like this has happened. I kind of agree with what you said, Rob, where it's like if I was in that position, it's Game 7, you got to give it a go, Game 7 of the NBA Finals. But I wonder how much teams down the line, like what if it's Game 7 of the first round? I wonder how many players will start to think, okay, well, maybe I put my career as precedent to this game here. What do you guys think on that?
I think like not all injuries are created equal as well. So like you might see teams play a little more cautious with calf injuries going forwards because there's additional strain on the Achilles. I don't know. Like for every Halliburton like Achilles tear coming off of a calf strain or whatever, there's probably dozens and dozens of players who've played on a calf strain that didn't tear their Achilles. Like asking the guy to sit, arguably the biggest game he's ever going to play in his life, when he can give it a go. Like to Peanut Butter, this is like in hindsight, hysterical tweet. I tweeted at him, I'm like, this is your Mona Lisa. But the guy was skipping around in warm-ups. Like it looked like nothing, he wasn't even injured at all. So it's tough to say that he should have sat. He shouldn't have played in this crucial game. Coming in with a pre-existing injury.
I feel like if Halliburton knew that he was going to get hurt in the game, he still would have played regardless. Like, if you didn't tell him when he was going to get hurt, he probably still would have been fine. I just want to give my team the chance to win. Like, we come from a background of, like, we're from Toronto, Canada. Like, we know how it's like in the NHL playoffs where guys will play through, like, crazy, like, broken ribs, like, punctured lungs, like, broken hand, like, broken, like, Draisaitl played with like a broken foot one year, which is like, I don't know how you skate with that. Anyways,
I mean, Zach Hyman played an NHL playoff game on a torn ACL.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like
so
these.
Philip Rivers.
That's true. Rivers played a torn ACL. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like the idea that he would like, not that he cares about the injury, but it's like this is it, right, for him. So
yeah.
Who knows if he'll ever be back here again?
It's kind of sad that it's the talking point. Like in a Game 7, you know, to Jacob's point at the beginning, you want it to be best on best. Because there's always going to be like that what if, and the people who always question the title of like, well, you wouldn't have won if Halliburton, played the whole game, and you'll never know one way or another. So you know, it kind of puts a damper on it. But again, I'm not the guy who was fist pumping and celebrating when Halliburton got hurt. But as someone who really wanted the Thunder to win the game, I really enjoyed the final outcome.
We'll keep moving with some of the tweets that came up from the NBA Finals here. Spanky said, can't wait for these NBA Finals to end so I can stop seeing the bullshit flexing by all the Twitter sharps. Maybe pointing fun at Cblez and Man of the Library. Next, we have Jay Croucher at CroucherJD, who said, it is jarring the lack of breakthrough the Pacers story seems to have had. If they win tonight, it'll be the most improbable NBA championship of all time and historic beyond that. In parentheses, he put Leicester City winning the Premier League in the David Tyree areas, which I just want to... The Pacers were what, like a 70-1 to start the season to win the NBA championship, would we guess?
I don't know what they were preseason odds, but the tickets that people were posting for NBA championship were 125-1.
But wasn't that like April when they were like, weren't they close to missing the playoffs? I don't know.
Because before the trade deadline, they were a bit, like around January, they were a bit behind the pace. Okay, let's say 125-1 because that's what Cbless had. Leicester were 5,000-1 to win the Premier League. We're in completely different planets when it comes to that.
But in NBA, it's
you don't see it happen.
Thing.
Like it's a very valid point. Like you just don't see upsets like that happen in the NBA.
Yes, Leicester is like the pantheon of this, but this is still
Well,
Agreed.
I think also because of the structure of like the NBA versus like soccer, like you're never going to have a 5,000 to 1 almost ever because if all you need to do is make the playoffs and have a
shouldn't
chance.
in soccer either. Anyways, I just wanted to make that point clear. We're in different universes there.
Yeah,
Anyways,
fair.
still the point stands, yes. Yet this series seems to be Nuggets Heat 2.0 for national interest. So we have this potentially historic underdog winning here, but it's like the Nuggets were playing the Heat from a few years ago in the NBA Finals in terms of the interest from the public. Then we have Eddie at Walls_Edward says, I really don't know or remember. Do NHL fans complain about the season being too long? Asking as absolute NBA nut job who wants them to extend Summer League into preseason. I realize I'm not the norm, but also not sort of why everyone hates the league. They like to discuss often.
it sucks.
I hate it.
Both of them. I'm sorry. We're going like 7 months to go from 30 to 16 teams. Fucking kill me.
Yeah.
I'm
with
there,
you.
hands down. As for like the shitty series or the not interest, ESPN is so garbage. Like what they've done with the NBA Finals, the ESPN brand has never felt lower.
Yeah.
There feels like there's no pageantry. Now, sure, like maybe it all felt more important when you're 12 years old, but a big Bob Costas intro, the logos on the fucking court. All they do, like the little things matter. I love sports, even though I don't give a shit about the NBA. I love tentpole events. NBA Finals,
Same.
horse races, Olympics, like tentpole events. Just how like people I don't give a shit about golf, well, into the Masters, sort of like that. Simple. Go watch other tentpole events and like the respect that is shown to them. The respect that's shown to fucking horses by NBC during the Kentucky Derby, and then the piss operation they do. No wonder Caitlin Clark getting pushed to the ground is a bigger story than the NBA Finals. It's their own fucking fault.
I agree with a lot of what you're saying. Like, there's other circumstances at play, right?
Still make it
The Thunder are a
important.
small market team for one.
That doesn't mean that the production should be shit.
I agree, but
that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be good. Like that doesn't mean that the standard of the people putting on the event should drop.
I'm not saying that it should, but regardless, there's going to be people that don't give the finals a chance just because of the teams that are involved. Whether or not the production is great caliber, there's just people who are not going to be tuned in. And frankly, end of June is ridiculous. Like, even for, I'm a huge hockey fan.
So-
Panthers, Oilers, first couple games are amazing, but I don't even want to watch the rest of the series.
Sorry, these are all fair points. But the counter to that is you're right? The Thunder versus the Pacers. It's hard to get the casuals in. But then when the casual tunes in, it feels like it's game 63.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Look at the courts that they use for their stupid made-for-TV
in-season tournament.
tournament. Like the effort that they put in. And then look at the finals. If it's not important to you, then it's not important to me.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah. Also, like when did the finals started? I think it was 2.5 weeks. How long it took for the finals? So you also like lose any momentum between game when almost every game is 2-3 days apart.
Yeah,
it took way too long. 2.5 weeks should not for 7 games is crazy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Spanky's tweet about, he's sick and tired, can't wait for these finals to end so I can stop seeing the bullshit flexing by all the Twitter sharps in quotation. I get it. It's annoying. Part of the reason I was cheering for the Thunder is because of how annoyed I was. I don't like Man of the Library, but honestly, like, I don't really cross paths with him on Twitter at all these days. Seablez, definitely. It's not only I have this ticket, but it's like, the next day, it's like, I have this ticket. Should I hedge? How much would you hedge? It's a talking point every single day that I just don't want to hear. But the reality is, we're going to get to October. There's going to be some guy who comes out of the woodwork with a fucking like Philadelphia Phillies ticket or something. When people win on futures or are close to winning, they naturally just want to celebrate. It's going to happen till the end of time. It's not just the NBA Finals. It is just
happens every week in golf.
Exactly.
Just to have a guy in the mix
Yes.
on Sunday. Like my 80-1 is like one in the final group.
Yes.
You want, like, sure, you could bet that. You could have bet that T10, T5. You could have crushed him in matchups. There's other way you could have won money. But you want credit for your guy just being in the running for this goddamn event.
But it's natural. Like, sports fans have an ego. And on top of that, like, what is sports betting if you can't celebrate, if you're like a rec or a casual and you can't celebrate a win or having a huge ticket that's live? Like, that's just part of what sports betting is.
Would you say that Halliburton was hexed?
That's such an inside joke that very few people will get, but still hilarious. With Spanky, the only thing I love Spanky, but like Spanky can't name a single player who played in the NBA Finals, right? He can't name a NFL quarterback. His version of betting is just like, you know, it's very methodical, and he doesn't care about the sport itself, if you know what I'm getting at. So I can see why this would like be so bothersome to him, but that's like, you know, I've tweeted many a golf winner before back in the day. I like long shot. You know, you do that. That's just natural.
What a couple people did, not even was like so obnoxious and annoying that it turned people off them.
Yes.
Like, you just see a guy with his future.
Yes.
You're like, come on, buddy, get home. Like, get home.
Yeah, unless it's Kanish. In which point I'm cheering the opposite.
I will say, though, as annoying as Seablez was for like the futures tickets, it was great seeing him go back and forth with like the full outfit against Trent. That was good content. That was good content where they were like going.
I'm not going to lie to you. I could not stand it.
I thought it was hilarious.
In fact,
I liked it.
I look at it and laugh.
I
don't know what more there is to do.
A lot more than I probably should have.
but like Seablez, like to his credit, we've talked about this
I'm
on the
a
show
virgin
before.
that's going to win $125,000 today. How do you not laugh at that?
That was good. I like
That was such a good tweet.
I guess I'm kind of just. I guess it's been too much now.
Yeah.
Where I'm just kind of turned off of it. The only thing I will say is, man, did he do a good job of getting Trent to engage with him for the entire, because Seablez's following, I guess he has an Instagram following and like his Twitter is much smaller, but Trent is on like a different level of influencer. For them to constantly be engaging, even though he lost the finals ticket, that's still a huge W for him, just on the amount of like free marketing.
Well, I mean, the 125 to 1 would have been better.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're good on the NBA Finals. We'll move on to our next topic in just a second here. But before we do, a word from our presenting sponsor, Underdog. Now that the NBA season is wrapped up, it is officially time for baseball to shine. And Underdog Fantasy is the perfect place to stay in the game all summer long. If you've never used Underdog before, this is one of the cleanest, most well-built platforms out there. Whether you're making picks on player stats like hits, strikeouts, total bases, all of it, the process is fast, intuitive, and actually enjoyable. No clutter, no friction, no 20 pop-ups trying to upsell you mid-entry. It's just a really smart, well-designed product that lets you focus on your research and your picks. And here's the thing, baseball is perfect for this format. Games are every day, stats are predictable if you know what to look for, and the volume gives you a ton of flexibility. Whether you're playing casually or digging deep into matchups, Underdog makes it easy to jump in. So if you haven't signed up yet, now's the time. Just click the link in the description and sign up using code CIRCLES to get $1,000 in bonus credit on your first deposit. Just click the link in the description and use promo code CIRCLES on sign up to get up to $1,000 in bonus credit as a new customer. Again, that is promo code CIRCLES. The link is in the description below. Baseball's here, Underdog's ready, and you should be too. Next segment is one I've titled Pandora's Docs, because doxing and trying to dox people and anonymous accounts have been a big topic on gambling Twitter over the last few days. To lead us off here, we have a meme created by one of the people on our Friday show, which is Chris Dierkes at FlipNoLied, who says this applies to a majority of gambling Twitter right now, and it's the Drake meme from, I think it's Hotline Bling, where he's pushing one away, like upset at one, and one that he likes, and the one he doesn't like, anon accounts that troll and are mean, we should dox ASAP, and anon accounts that troll but I like, we don't need to dox them. And he says that's basically what's going on right now with gambling Twitter. Trav at he_hate_me 2_0 prominent on gambling Twitter says, which one of you got over on Green being so bad that he wants our Twitter handles to be social security numbers with photo IDs? That was pretty good. Kirk Evans, who is usually on this show here, but he's out for today, says he basically has the meme where your brain expands the further you go, and he has white privilege, pretty privilege, socioeconomic privilege, but the top of it all is anonymous Twitter privilege. And then the final one, Spinfluencer showcased a screenshot from an Elf Spaces where the entire space is war against Twitter burner accounts. And
The only one who's not a burner account is
on
Antonio.
the panel that isn't
Antonino.
a burner is Elf himself.
Well, I mean, he's a burner.
Antonino DeRosa's on there. That's his real name, at least I assume.
Right.
Those were 4 incredible tweets.
Can we also like go back to like a couple months ago when Elf complained that someone leaked his name?
Yeah, I remember
So, I mean, if we're going to say, like, they're all burners other than Antonino.
I will say this, like, doxing in the space. So I have semi-doxed someone before in the space. And I can give you my reasons as to why. But basically, that person trolled me for years on Twitter. And eventually, I got to the point where I'm like, I think I can figure out who this person is. And I replied in a tweet, not giving their name, but a restaurant that was nearby to where they lived. Just as like a shot of like, buddy, stop fucking around because I know who you are type of thing. Now, in hindsight, I regret doing it. I've tried to make amends with said person, but I have a tough time with this type of subject because I live my life in a public eye. Like I've always been Rob Pizzola on Twitter. I've always been like, I talk about my day-to-day on Twitter, on this show, stuff like that. So it's hard for me to see anonymous accounts that go after other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have any sympathy for someone who's going to spend 3 years online being a complete piece of shit to other people when their name gets thrown out there by someone else. Would I do that now? No, I wouldn't. But I'm not sympathetic towards it anymore. I'm not. But I understand the reason someone would want to be anonymous in the sports betting space. I mean, there's tax implications.
Yeah.
There's just general security stuff nowadays in the year 2025. There's a lot of reasons someone would want to be anonymous nowadays. I don't blame anyone for going the path of, you know, Moneybag Yo or, you know, Man of the Vig, whatever. But the reality is, if you're going to do that, I do think that you have to toe the line. I really do. Because the second you're acting like you're Conor McGregor basically online talking shit to people and people find out you're fucking Steve from accounting, well, good luck with that. Because it's going to get exposed whether or not you like it.
Yeah, I also think like this discussion is kind of like a gray area because like what are we talking about here? Are we talking about people who like just go outright, have a burner account and just troll with that burner account? Doxing them, fine. Like if your entire goal on Twitter is to just talk shit, be like racist, say mean things. I've had my DMs flooded with a ton of bullshit from like random accounts. Geoff, I know you have too. Raw, we all have, right? So those people, yeah, they deserve to be doxed. But if someone's like not trolling, but they're anonymous on Twitter because, like you said, tax implications or I don't know, they're better and they don't want to work with other people. Like I could see why they wouldn't want to be doxed. Also, like I saw some stuff about how like, oh, if you're a big bettor and you want to work with someone, you should be face out. Like there's other ways to do it than to exactly right. Like these people can still be burners. But guess what? If you don't like that this person's a burner, don't work with them.
Of course,
it's not that hard to do. Like you're not being forced to work with them. So it's like there should be some respect of privacy in some instances. But if people are being outright trolls, fine. Like I'm not saying dox people, but like. I don't know. There's also the ban button. Sorry,
you know how many
the mute
people
button.
I've worked with in the betting space that I can't tell you their real name, where we've had a mutually beneficial partnership. Like that to me is not a requirement of being successful in the betting industry whatsoever. I mean, I think a large portion of this whole topic and this conversation really comes down to the fallout between a lot of the sharper members of the gambling community with guys like Elf and Brett Feinsod, where everything now is like kind of spun to attack the sharper bettors.
Of course.
It's like, why are you hiding behind this alias? Why don't you should just be forthright and whatever. But there's so many reasons that someone would do that.
Exactly. I like Beak. Beak is a burner. Like I like him when he's on these panels. He's funny, but like if he feels like he needs privacy, we should respect that. He's never done anything wrong to me. I don't think people should be like out here trying to dox him. I don't know if people are, but there's like, that's a perfect example of someone who has every right to be a quote unquote burner account or anonymous account. Cause like, you know what? It's not like he's providing anything negative to the community, but my problem is again, war against Twitter burner accounts. That's like a wide net that's cast that like can involve some people who don't deserve to be involved in it.
I mean, like you said, like Elf is a Twitter burner.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, his real
His name's
name-
not Elf.
You've been going through this emotional roller coaster this entire time, Jeff. I've noticed that.
Well, like, it's
almost
two
like
different
an indigestion
things.
look.
Yeah,
on
it
your
is
face.
two different things, but
I
it's
don't
being
care
presented
about
as
a
one thing.
guy who makes bets, who like is a pro bettor, who just doesn't want their name out there.
Yeah.
But in terms of like trolls, like I don't give a shit. I've never, if I had an opportunity to dox a troll, I would do it in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Like, my kids better be nice to me, or I'll leave their inheritance to like a troll doxing charity. So they better be kind to me.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean,
Because the shit that like I get sent in my DMs from faceless accounts,
It's abhorrent.
like I would love to send that home to their like mom or employer.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
Like I would pay a great sum to know.
That's also the problem with doxing, though, is like, all right, that is a different story. But like a great instance happened in like March where a guy named Boomer Bets on Twitter has a pretty large following. He doesn't sell picks. He trolls picks accounts that are saying like, I joined your package, I lost. This guy lost his job because he was a teacher, and somebody sent that he gives out picks on Twitter. He doesn't use his real name, doesn't sell the picks. He just tweets out picks, and he lost his teaching job.
Yeah.
This poor guy who's like 24 years old, just starting his career, lost his job because someone was an asshole, doxed him, and somebody sent it to his employer. Hopefully he finds a new job this upcoming school year. But this is like the gray area which I struggle with. Of like if we talk about doxing burner accounts, all burner accounts, we're gonna enter an area where like people are getting doxed and it's gonna have effects on their lives, and they shouldn't.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, for me, first of all, like that's affecting someone's livelihood.
No, but there's burners to just be anonymous,
Yes.
and there's burners to be vile pieces of
Yes,
shit.
100%. I think
And
we're all in
those are
agreement.
two different camps.
I
If
agree.
you want to keep your anonymity, I'm totally cool with that. Act like a human being.
Yep.
You know, the minute you start crossing lines, you say racist shit, whatever, you start accusing other people of stuff. In my opinion, that opens it up to being fair game. And
I tell you this, some of the shit that I get, like I didn't get that stuff when I was just on the little golf Twitter planet.
No, I know, but
Go get in the Guardians of the Galaxy spaceship and here the fuck I am.
The problem is this is like new. There's nuance with this, right? And like this conversation is happening on a spaces that like lacks any form of nuance whatsoever.
good point as
So
well.
like that's where I have an issue. Is like we've seen the spaces be an angry mob and struggle to differentiate what. Listen, I'm not going to be morality police here, but like there's been some objectively wrong things that have happened, and people just kind of ran with it. So like that's the only problem I have, where we might see a similar situation to what happened to Boomer Bets happen to maybe some of these people, and that's just not what I would want to happen.
yeah.
But
Next topic is about Tommy Fleetwood, unfortunately for Geoff. But Fleetwood, well, what was the story? He was up by one going into the last hole.
Geoff can recount it probably better than anyone else. No,
Sure.
I don't know.
Just give a quick
Like,
summary.
like your Jacob
Tommy
can
Fleetwood, who has
recap a
never
story?
won a PGA event, was on the verge of winning his first, and it went wrong on the last hole. Can you give like a quick summary of the event of the collapse?
Final hole, Keegan Bradley birdied, Tommy Fleetwood bogeyed, cost himself the tournament. On that final hole, Tommy Fleetwood's approach was well short because he switched his club last minute from a 9-iron to a pitching wedge. Keegan Bradley made an amazing shot. Ultimately, another gag job is basically what went down.
Tommy exceeded full Tommy.
You never go
I
full
guess.
Tommy.
Yeah.
And he went past it.
And he just can't win a PGA Tour event. He's got like the most T5s or top 10s without a win. He's got like 7 wins in Europe. He's got a bunch of big wins in the Middle East where he like goes head to head with a Rahm or a Rory and wins, and he just can't win on the PGA Tour. I was in Palm Beach twice where he gagged that one down the stretch. And at my own club at Oakdale, he couldn't birdie a short par 5 to win before Nick Taylor has the Canadian Heritage moment.
That was the day you were walking around with his dad, no? You were with
That
Fleetwood's
week.
dad.
I mean, that was his love his dad. I'm a huge Fleetwood fan. I don't bet Tommy other than the occasional cheat week. But like anyone, even as a fan, like you knew it, like it's never over till it's over. He made a 5 with a wedge from the fairway. He 3-putted the last. He didn't even get the ball inside of Keegan's mark. One of the most pathetic sequences we've ever seen. Like Nick Taylor hitting a 72-foot Canadian Heritage moment.
Yeah.
Was Tommy going to hit the 12-footer to extend? Probably not. But it's like, okay, some guy did something magical. Scotty Scheffler going boom, boom in Paris to win Olympic gold. Tommy doing nothing wrong, gets silver. We holding it against him? No. But like I want to feel bad for him. It was so pathetic. He does not even deserve our sympathy.
It was
hard to watch.
It was legitimately painful.
And you
to watch.
knew the final script. Like you knew how this chapter.
I mean, he hit a putt on 17, and he to make par. I want to say it was maybe a 5-footer because his birdie putt went well past the hole, and he turned to his caddy and he did like this, like.
After an incredible bunker shot on 17.
You could feel the stress in that moment. And listen, I watch a lot of YouTube golf. I talk about this pretty regularly. I've seen a lot of stuff with Tommy Fleetwood out there. He appears to be like one of the class acts of the tour. I think if you were to ask like PGA Tour members, it'd be like, you can't say anything wrong about this guy. So that makes it even more tough to swallow when there's someone who's like, high moral integrity, let's say like classy guy who just can't get over the hump. But like there's guys who got it and there's guys that don't got it.
But you know,
and he is anti-clutch. Like there are guys who just fold under pressure.
Like
right?
a Justin Herbert.
we're not
going to stricken that.
We're just not even going to acknowledge it exists.
Cut it.
My point on that, which is so weird, Rob, is that there are moments, like if yesterday was the Ryder Cup, he wins 3-2, closes Keegan out on the 16th hole. If yesterday is in the Middle East and he's going up against like Rahm and Bobby Mack and Hatton and Rory, he has no problem. He like can meet the moment. Yes. It is this, and he's only made it worse. Other than the fact, the only advice I can give him is he has to play, like to get this win now, we have to play like a less prestigious schedule. You can still play your prestigious schedule, but just high-end events, high-end fields, elevated events. We got to go, be in Detroit this week, be at the John Deere.
No, what he's got to do is he's got to take a crowbar to Shane Lowry's kneecaps and play that doubles event with Rory McIlroy next year.
What does that do for Shane Lowry? Biggest free passing golf.
Yes. I do, like, from a betting perspective here, so I didn't check out the pre-round odds, but while the round was going on, I was working at my desk watching the golf, and For You feed serves me up a couple tweets in quick succession of Fats, who bet Tommy Fleetwood going into the final round, and Krabs Bets, who bet him going into the final round, both at like minus 175. And when I saw that, I'm like, this has got to be the ultimate bet with your heart type of situation, because there is. I'm not Rufus Peabody. I'm not a golf pricing expert, but I could tell you right now, you are an insane person to have laid. And this isn't revisionist history. Like I said this in the moment. That is an insane price to lay with a gag artist like Fleetwood.
No one on golf Twitter was laying 170 on
This is like
Tommy
a golf casual
Fleetwood.
bet. That's a golf
this
casual bet.
This is like Fats. Oh, that guy's up 3.
Yeah,
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Oh, like I know he's not clutch, but
he's got good ball striking. He has
he can play clean.
Yeah.
I just want some action. No one who is in the weeds on golf was laying minus 170 on Tommy Fleetwood.
Tommy Fleetwood at one point was like minus 650 live on the back nine.
Not even higher at one point.
He was pretty
pretty
locked into it. I bet
he had a putt on 14, a 6.5-foot putt to go up 3.
Yeah.
He does not hit that putt. They get to a short hole, the 15th. Tommy does not make birdie.
Yep,
Keegan hits a bomb. Boom, boom, dynamite.
Boom, boom.
There are trap doors always in golf.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I thought it was incredible.
Yeah.
I didn't have $1. Obviously, I had a rooting interest on it, but I like Henley, Keegan, Tommy. I know maybe for like hyper casuals that doesn't do anything for me. I loved the mix of that group. I thought it was like hyper entertaining. Man versus man, man versus nature, man versus himself. Tommy Fleetwood epitomizes that, like him beating himself. And that's why golf is just so goddamn beautiful.
What I loved was from Fleetwood was a couple things. First of all, not that I'm anti-American, but Keegan Bradley wins and the USA chants are breaking out. This has got to be like the most heartbreaking moment for Fleetwood in that time. But like he goes and shakes Bradley's hand, sticks around afterwards, does the like if there was ever a guy who would not want to do press in a situation that we might excuse for not wanting to do press, it would be Fleetwood in that moment, stuck around afterwards, answered questions, like different level of professionalism relative to some other people who get in their car and leave the course.
We have me and Tommy, it's on video, it's on my Twitter. We have a great embrace after he blew the Canadian Open because he knew the support.
He knows who you are.
Yeah. It was a great. Tommy, he can't help himself, man. I don't even know. He just hope for the best at this point.
Do you like blame yourself for some of this? Like maybe you rubbed off bad juju on him by like
he had bad juju before I came into his fucking orbit. Like, sorry, man. Me like greeting him on Monday at my course, telling him he's gonna win, walking practice rounds in the ropes with his dad.
Yeah.
Like, you're winning this week, and then he has a chance to win, loses, doesn't win, comes a second out of 142 guys. Wins second most money than anyone in the building, and then you're gonna tell me I brought bad juju? Who was it? Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here!
Fleetwood? Was it Lee Westwood back in the day that went through the same thing?
Yeah, well, Westwood is the best player of like our era to never win a major. But Westwood also, like, I think he only won one FedEx St. Jude. He really couldn't win in North America.
Yeah,
that was a tough thing for him. Even like Louis, I don't know. Shit, some of the Europeans, they don't win a ton. I enjoyed, if it wasn't Keegan, like if it was like just Henley versus Tommy, I don't think the USA stuff is like full ratchet. But because it's Keegan, because he's a captain, because there's the whole Keegan's going to play.
Yeah.
And I said a week ago.
I love Keegan Bradley, by the way. I really like him. I just thought it was like.
Keegan and Tommy are very different in the sense that you put Keegan in the cauldron of like the moment of a Sunday battle.
Agreed.
Keegan, he's got a history of coming through.
Yeah.
Tommy is the complete like his own, like if he's in the cauldron, he just wilts. His way to win is almost doing what he often does, is post a crazy Sunday number and watch eating a grilled cheese, and hopefully the board comes back to him.
Did you see the close-up of the Fleetwood putt?
I don't want to watch it.
That
I've
was
heard
showed
about
here?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go through some of the reactions to Tommy Fleetwood's meltdown. So Kip Henley shared this. He said, "Hey, Tommy Fleetwood, I know it hurts, but this would make you feel some better. I know KB is a tiny bit more down the hill and straighter, but your putt 100% hits a ball mark and dies dead right. You both hit the same putt within a quarter of a ball at least." I don't know if this will make him feel better. It looked like the putt was online.
It skipped.
The starting line for Bradley and Fleetwood's putt was the same starting line. There's about halfway through this putt, it
jolts to the side.
A right, I don't say, So we can say
Divine
that it's like a big
intervention,
gag job all you want. Listen, you got to hit the putt.
Yeah.
But I do think something happened, like whether it was a pebble on the, something
To
happened.
hit the putt, you have to get your putt inside of his putt.
Yes, agreed.
Like, it is the most, like, bye. I don't even have sympathy. I love you, but I don't have sympathy. You didn't get your ball inside his ball. He could have taught you the putt.
Yes, especially when you're going to be on the same line.
On the same line.
You got to get it to the hole.
You got to get it there.
Yeah.
Next one is from Geoff, conveniently. At the Fantasy Grind says, being a Tommy Fleetwood fan, and it's the clip from The Simpsons where Bart says, "This is the worst loss of my life," or "worst day of my life." Well, they changed it to loss here, and Homer comes in and said, "The worst loss of your life so far."
Yeah.
Many more to come potentially. Christopher Powers at CPowers14 had this. said another Tommy Fleetwood meltdown, and he said you shouldn't watch that, and it said nobody should watch this.
Yeah, true detective. I love the memes that come out of these. That's the best part of the sport.
NBA Slime
This
at
is-
Terry Franconia says Adam Schefter was spot on comparing Tommy Fleetwood to Dak Prescott, which he did on Instagram.
People were
it
not
seems.
happy with Shefty was doing coursework this week. He did a Herbert Ludwig comp, which I'm flattered by.
I feel like you can't comp quarterbacks to like golfers. It's a completely like.
Yeah,
It's
you
just-
can.
Okay,
Mahomes
sure.
and
You could comp
Scheffler,
anyone to
like,
anyone.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
Like,
You
sure.
can literally
sure.
compare
Like
anyone
it's
to
nuanced and there's holes, but you
Sure.
could do it.
Okay, fine. It's a bad comparison.
I mean-
fair. Like,
Yeah, I wouldn't do Fleetwood Marino because Marino was always elite and Fleetwood isn't. But like, there's got to be a better option. Honestly, Fleetwood Rivers is probably a better option than Fleetwood Prescott.
I still think Rivers is better than Fleetwood.
Like
neither
in
is
the
one.
respective sport.
Yeah, like in
maybe not
the
the best.
totality of that.
Yeah.
Rivers maybe more Westwood.
Is like Fleetwood more of like a Derek Carr type?
No.
So this is where
this is where
we're in the
it's-
weeds
this is
now.
where
We're in
it's
the
tough.
we're
Yeah,
in the
I don't
fest
even
here,
wanna
like-
do this.
I mean, Dak hasn't had a long enough career, I think, to really
Yeah, but he's not going to win from here on out. So it's like unless he goes to like another team, then
probably is not going to win.
Like, if we're being honest, like-
it pains me to say it. Yes.
The last one was it was from at
this is good.
Anti-Faldo.
Faldo says the Tommy Fleetwood experience, and it's the photo of the horse that's very well drawn at the back, and the further you go, the worse the drawing becomes.
Do you guys know this guy? Like you named his.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when you say, I would have no idea how to pronounce
It's a combo of Antifa and
And Aldo.
Yeah.
Like
Who's
Nick
Faldo?
Faldo. You don't know
Nick
Sir Nick
Faldo,
Faldo?
okay.
He's
six-time
been knighted, man.
Sorry.
Most-
I thought it's Aldo, like Antifa
winningest
Aldo.
Europe-
Aldo, like the shoe
European-
company?
Yeah, like
most
the
major champions for
Aldo.
European.
No, Aldo no swag. That's the only Aldo I know.
You're not familiar with Nick.
You guys need to look up Aldo on Instagram if you want like a good crash course on funny videos. Anyways, this is besides the point. Let's move on.
You know, there's
next topic-
Alouette Go here.
That's
Oh yeah, how the way it goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's not Aldo.
See, every show we catch Geoff looking at something very random. Were you looking for food right now?
No, I just walked.
He's Twitter scrolling.
I didn't know that. No.
You gonna join that Spaces?
You're on Google Maps right now to see what's in the area.
No, we walked by.
What are you
have
betting
never
this
been
week?
on this part of the building.
How did this pop into your mind at this exact
I
moment?
like how he put the
Because you
phone
were
down.
we just. What did you just say before?
Aldo, not Alouette.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember we walked by it. It's. I've been in this building before. I used to work in this building.
Yeah,
but we're in a
hold on,
different part of
This was never
building.
brought up before. You have beef with someone in this building.
I
still,
don't
no?
have beef.
Yes, you do. You told me you got into like a spat with like one of the companies that still work in this building.
Okay, sure. There's like a person or two wouldn't want to see me.
Well, we
but I don't have
confront them
beef.
after the show.
Let's do it.
Let's
Film
do it.
We'll knock on the door. We'll see what's going on.
Like, I don't do it with a fucking burner. I would just do it.
Do it face to face.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
Respects.
I like that.
What company is it?
Just what are we doing, Jason? You fucking Jason gonna wear shorter shorts next week?
Okay, they're riding up a bit. It's getting a little dangerous right now.
Tough. Yeah,
I will wear. I have shorter shorts.
I believe it.
Why? Are you, where are you looking? Where are you staying right now? This is like an
Your
HR
t-shirt.
violation. This
No,
is,
your
Well, what's
t-shirt.
wrong with the t-shirt now too?
Got
Just
HR right here.
Have you been to South Dakota?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you notice he spilled coffee on his shirt?
Nope. You got away with it. Good for you.
It's not noticeable on camera.
Yeah, you can't see it on camera. I scrunched it up so you can't. It's at the part that's scrunched up right here. Don't zoom in. Yeah.
The next topic here is in the NBA world once again. We had a very large trade that went down. Kevin Durant was sent to the Phoenix Suns in exchange for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the number 10 pick of the 2025 draft, which is upcoming this week, 5 second-round picks to go with it. So only 1 first-round pick for Kevin Durant, which had a few people talking. Kevin Durant himself was actually traded while he was on stage at Fanatics Fest, which is pretty insane timing to have that happen. And then finally, we had this comment from Steak F at Steak Friend, who said, either I'm wrong or is this the worst overreaction we've ever seen to a trade? Plus 750, and it showcases a DraftKings screenshot. The Rockets second favorites to win the NBA championship behind the plus 250 Thunder. Rockets are listed at plus 750. Do we feel like, well, first of all, is that an overreaction? What do you think, Rob?
Okay, I'm not the resident ball nori here. First of all, you've had your hand up for
Well,
like,
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about some other stuff. Let's talk about this first, and we'll
Okay.
get into the other stuff.
What's the other stuff?
We'll just like let's.
okay,
it was
let's
going
go.
to come
You
up
want to
naturally.
get it up organically.
Organically.
Organically. Nothing gets the group chats buzzing like a blockbuster trade in any sport. And I like to weigh in, even though I'm not a ball knower by any stretch of the imagination. I don't pretend to be. What was interesting to me about the KD trade is how divided my group of friends was on the trade, and also how divided my timeline was on the trade. I saw the first initial reactions I saw were that Houston got fleeced. And then I saw a bunch of other comments about how Houston made a great trade. Personally, I think just across all sports, I'm not going to break down this trade. This is not my expertise. But I do think, especially in the NBA, people tend to really undervalue how important it is to have a superstar. And they're like, well, he could get injured. He's old, this and that. He's like by far the best player in the trade. The second thing I think average fans tend to do all the time is completely overvalue draft pick compensation. Like, there's so many second round picks in this deal, which are basically lottery tickets. The average person tends to really overvalue like a young player's ceiling as well. It's like, this XYZ was drafted this high. They're only 23 years old. I mean, it doesn't sometimes a change of scenery helps, but I think overall people get lost in like the potential sauce a lot of times with these trades. And if you're a team that's in a win now window, like the Rockets, I think ultimately you go for great players. And I do love when blockbuster trades happen in sports, just because it's a great talking point, honestly.
Yeah, from my understanding, Kevin Durant's still like really, really good. Like
Jacob
one of the best mid-range shooters in the NBA.
He's still MVP caliber when he's on the court. Like if Kevin Durant plays 65 games and he meets the threshold to make it, he'll be all NBA next season. I think
okay. Well, then it's a fine trade for them.
I think what it boils down to, Jalen Green is a really good player to like ask somebody their opinion of, and then verify whether or not they're a ball knower, essentially. So if I say, okay,
like
what's your opinion of Jalen Green? I think if you know ball, you'll say Jalen Green is not that good. If you don't know ball, you might say, oh, Jalen Green's amazing young player. So I think that's the swing for this trade, because Jalen Green, as much as he's flashy, he has some couple week stretches during the season where he puts up like ridiculous numbers. Jalen Green can't defend. Jalen Green doesn't pass the ball very well. He is insanely inefficient. He is an inconsistent scorer who has like these little spurts of hot scoring streaks during the season. But like every single Houston lineup is better off when he's not in it. Everybody gets worse with Jalen Green out there. So I think that part of the deal was even the Rockets get off of Jalen Green. It's not like that egregious of a contract, but it's not like a particularly great one either. They only really signed him to make a trade with him eventually, and they were able to do that here. Yes. So to trade Jalen Green, like Dylan Brooks is a bit of a loss, but they have plenty of point of attack defense left. Like Amen Thompson's big step up last season will. Yeah.
The only reason I even know Dylan Brooks is from betting NBA props.
Yeah, and also like those TikTok videos.
Yeah,
no, Dylan Brooks is good. It's just they have Fred VanVleet, they have Thompson, they have good defenders.
LeBron's grill.
Yes, that's the one.
And then
I know that.
Yeah. One first round pick and like the second round picks are cents.
They're candy. Yeah,
it's literally nothing for NBA teams. I mean, it's not nothing, but like to only give away one first round pick to lose two players you're not going to miss and get Kevin Durant, that's a great gamble by the Rockets. I think for the Suns, nobody was going to give them any better. So it doesn't feel like the Suns got great value out of it, but that was their fault long before this trade materialized. So I like it for Houston.
Kirk Evans, great company man, by the way.
Picked a great time to not be here.
Certified ball knower, misses the NBA Finals recap and the Kevin Durant trade. Well done, Kirk.
You want to go? You wanted to bring something up. You've been like,
no, you go.
What's your opinion on Jalen Green? Anyways,
I don't have one.
Yeah, I know. I'm kidding. Can we go back for a second, Jacob? Let's go to this forward a bit. So I'm a little bothered by the timing of this trade. It's the day of the NBA Finals. You could have easily waited a day. You kind of upstage like the pageantry of it all, like Geoff said. Even though there wasn't enough pageantry there, you kind of upstage the NBA Finals by doing this. It's kind of bullshit.
I knew you would love this take, Geoff. As soon as you started,
it's so Bush League. This would never fucking happen in the NFL. Not in a million years.
Not even close.
Even in
you can't
baseball,
wait. You can't wait a day.
Even in putrid little baseball, which I love, not in a million years would the league allow for that. Never.
So here's
never. So
Could
it
you
just,
not argue that it brings more attention to the league on the day of the finals?
Can I tell you something? It's just like another thing that overtakes this finals that no one cared about. Caitlin Clark getting her ass put on the ground. Kevin Durant getting traded. Your finals is like the third biggest NBA basketball story of the last week.
Well,
good for you. This should never be allowed. The people who are behind this should have respect enough for the goddamn shield and that rat fink commissioner.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with it all. You guys are living in a dream world.
No.
Because this trade is agreed to.
Not even in hockey. There's like a blackout period. Everyone knows it.
Yep.
This trade is agreed to between the Rockets and the Suns.
Mm-hmm.
Now the members of the front office are going to say we're going to keep this on hold for one day.
I don't know.
It
happens.
That's not the way the world works.
You're right.
It's going to fucking leak regardless.
It just shows you the deterioration of their shield and of their league.
Yeah,
that they would allow that to happen. It's all part of it, Rob.
That's fair.
So that's my point.
fair.
That's my point. Another one more important. Are you finished? Because
I'm close. Keep going. Go.
No,
keep going.
it's got nothing to do
You're
with
cooking.
this.
Okay,
you're close.
No, you go. You finish.
Both close to finishing.
Yeah, close.
Which is what you guys
not
uttered to
close,
each other
but
at the
okay.
Jays game as well. when
This
you were there together.
goddamn Fanatics,
Yeah, that's
Michael
what I was gonna
Rubin,
get into.
the goddamn devil.
Yes, that's what I was gonna get into.
There
Thank
is
you.
a place in hell for this man and for that company.
So first of all, fuck Fanatics, fuck that company, because who do you think, like, NBA partially owns Fanatics. They get kickback from everything.
Oh, I'm just talking about their product.
But it's dog shit. But this Fanatics Fest was also the most fabricated social, like, I've never seen so many fabricated social media moments that they tried to put together in my entire life. So much so that I think this was planned.
It could have
They
been.
wanted Kevin Durant to be on stage
Probably.
and find out he gets traded on stage at Fanatics Fest to try and give the Fanatics Fest a boost. And that's why I have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, fuck Fanatics Fest.
You should have asked me to bring in the tinfoil before we started.
I
the show
love-
today.
This is a crazy theory.
This is an interesting-
Is it really that crazy?
my issue with Fanatics
Is it really that
much to do
crazy?
with Fanatics Fest. It's the overall monopoly that is dog shit.
What are the
I don't
chances
think
that Kevin Durant gets traded while he's on stage for a Q&A
don't
where
think
people are going to talk about it and you can clip it for a viral moment? You don't think that that's like a crazy viral moment that they think people would love to see?
He seemed
like,
to know.
What? Yeah, like what are the chances of this? Like this
I
is a
didn't really
crazy
see this
coincidence.
circulating. I don't think the Phoenix and Houston front office give a shit about Fanatics Fest or whoever.
You
leaked
missed
this.
the point, Jacob. I'm not trying to be rude. It's not Phoenix or them releasing it. It's
the
Kevin
NBA.
Durant.
Oh, okay.
And like his people.
Kevin Durant's agency.
Yeah, and like this is happening. It's not
Michael Rubin has his hands in it,
It's
too.
it's not the teams. If anything, I would say the teams actually respect the league enough that they didn't. We're not the people who put this out on
Well, they
Game
weren't
7 of
because
the
it gets
NBA
leaked
Finals.
to Shams. He reports it. The trade isn't official, by the way. It's reported by Shams, which essentially makes it official because anything Shams says would be correct, essentially. So
Yeah, but there's only like things leak because they're supposed to leak. Things don't just leak because people have big mouths. Everything that comes out of a front office to Shams is always calculated from the front office, and that's what I truly believe. I because if it's not, that person is getting fired.
Yeah.
He's right. I'm not saying this was a thing, but it's not the teams
You guys are
Right.
in cahoots.
that
guys.
put
You're
this
in
out.
cahoots for
no,
weeks now.
I don't think he's like. I have no opinion on it being a conspiracy theory. I'm saying things get to Shams absolutely on purpose.
Yeah.
And I
That's true.
believe that the teams themselves, like the ownership, the heads of the front office, the presidents, the high levels that are involved in this big of a transaction, have enough respect for the commissioner and the league that they would have not put that out during this.
How long do we think Kevin Durant was on stage for? An hour? And it happens to come out the 1 hour he's on stage. Like, that is like very.
You might have something here, but I'm not willing to admit it.
Okay,
I'm
fair.
just not willing to.
I
admit
just-
it.
I'm starting
Fanatics
to see
is
it a
dog
bit,
shit.
but
you
I don't
made a
think it happened, but I
compelling
can
case.
see it.
And Jeff yelling on top of it too, it kind
Yeah.
of swayed me a little bit.
Fanatics
He's very
dog
passionate.
shit.
Fanatics is dog shit. I
The
agree.
final tweet here about the odds moving. I just want to say,
Yeah, let's get to that.
In general, anytime there's a trade in major sports, there always tends to be an overreaction in the market because they can somebody got down on good Houston prices probably pretty quickly, and then the market was taken off the board and it was reopened, and the vast majority of people who are going to bet into this market now probably don't even really realize that the market has adjusted already to these prices. And I would venture a guess that they just moved the Houston price and kept everyone else as is, because that tends to happen in the heat of the moment. But that I can say that following NFL markets, NHL markets.
I was gonna ask that. Do they basically give it a shit price because they know people will still just bet it?
Yes.
You need this right now. It's like,
Exactly.
come get it at a crack pricing, crack addict pricing. That's the only person. It's like after a golfer wins a tournament, his price to win the next major
Yes. It's
goes
terrible.
down like
100%.
30%. It's like if you're like that addicted and you need this guy that bad, we'll
Here it
offer
is.
you this guy at the worst price we're ever going to happen. To the thing about the trade being announced, it is almost to the point, Rob, that like if there was a big trade in a different league, they would almost have a modicum of respect that tonight is game 7 of the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
We're not putting out this quarterback trade now.
Yeah.
The NBA literally will eat itself. Good for them, losers.
All right.
By the way, just on the Jalen Green topic, just because I want to back up the numbers here, the Rockets are 6.5 points better when he's off the floor versus when he's
Jacob's
on.
so
I don't know,
obsessed
'cause
with
I don't
the
wanna get-
actual
I don't-
basketball take.
I don't want to get fucking like called out for
Yeah,
like
fair.
my
That's
Jalen
That's all
Green
right.
take.
And back it up with numbers. I like that.
Jalen
Hard
Green's
data.
ass, and I have numbers to back it up.
Okay.
Essentially, is what I'm trying
I
to say.
don't, and I still think he's cheeks.
Before we go to your comments, as a reminder, if you're enjoying the show so far, you make sure you do smash that like button. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Once again, thank you for helping us hit 19,000 subscribers here in Circles Off. But we want to get to 20,000 subs. And again, you can help us do that. And you can also comment something down below, something that you liked from the show, something you disliked, and maybe you can let us know what you think of the new studio we worked so hard to put together, and still have to make some little alterations here and there, but we hope you do like it so far. That being said, let's go to some of the comments from the previous show. First of all, I'm getting called out a little bit here
blind.
by
I can't read that.
It's too small.
how do I even say this? At Vertical? I don't know.
Vertical, yeah.
Vertical? Sure. Jacob was not prepared to get that solitaire thing turned on him. I enjoy the side bits part, like knowing when Geoff is shopping golf lines or watching the darts match, figuring out what Jacob is sweating based on reaction. So I'll start by saying I was more so aghast that Rob had no issue with Stephen A playing solitaire during the NBA Finals than getting called out. I just thought I thought Rob would just agree with me on that. I was just shocked he didn't.
The guy's watched a million basketball games. Like, come on.
It's all context. If it is like he played for 3 minutes, I don't care. If you show me video that he's like the whole quarter or something, then yeah, I give him a hard time.
No, solitaire is crazy. You guys are so wrong about this take. It's ridiculous. He's not
ADD.
texting. Jacob made the great point. He's not texting. He's playing fucking solitaire. He is actively choosing to not watch the game that he's at.
He's not actively doing it. He's got ADD.
So when Geoff is looking up golf bets during the show, he's actively choosing to bet on golf instead of doing.
This is not the NBA.
This is not
Finals.
the NBA Finals. This is like
I said,
a job is a job.
no.
This is the pinnacle of our network, by the way.
No. I said the pinnacle of our network is the live Bet Bash panel. That would probably be our NBA Finals. So yes, if I had darts on my phone at that time,
Do you have darts on right now?
I don't. But there is none on.
It's because there's no darts.
Okay, well, sorry. I was just asking.
There's-
Shoot.
I mean,
wanna
if people
talk
really
about
knew what
something.
goes on behind the scenes here, I mean, we break probably at least twice a show to urinate.
Listen.
Plus, I mean, Geoff had a very interesting moment 5
Bill,
minutes ago.
What do you want to talk about? You said you wanted to say something.
Yeah, you were.
I could do it at the end of the segment. Let's just get through the comments.
Okay.
All right, Geoff has to go somewhere.
No,
He hasn't paid his meter.
My
so-
last piece of defense is that usually while we're recording, this is Players Championship. So if you don't know darts, this will be gibberish to you. But when we're recording, this is during the Players Championship events, and it's during the semis and finals, which are oftentimes I'm not actively watching. I just want to see how it ends up. And the first time I got called out was during the World Championships during Ricky Evans and Dave Chisholm's second round game, which was an all timer. Which I'm
Great players.
Yeah.
Great darters.
Couldn't have watched that after the fact. Definitely not.
could not.
I'm sure you would have been. Your phone would have been flooded with push alerts of who won the Ricky Evans.
Do you
match.
record NFL games and watch them after the fact? You want to engage in the discourse as it's happening. Not you don't need
I'm
to
gonna
necessarily
say,
participate, but
the
you want to see
score
it.
offers NFL push alerts. Where are you getting darts information? You need to
I'm
be
on Twitter. I'm on the darts. side of
Jacob
Twitter as
is
well.
large in the darts Twitter
I'm
community.
not.
I don't know if you know, I don't know if you know
I
that.
like to peruse. I like to look around.
What does the darts Twitter community look like?
It's big.
You think it's as sick
No,
as the
it's-
gambling Twitter community?
It's big.
No chance.
It's
Like
big.
a bunch of sickos?
No,
No.
not sickos. It's very respectful, proper.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of beer going
Absolutely
around.
not respectful and proper.
I literally don't even know
way.
it. I just made that up.
I know you're making it up. Anyways, let's move on. It's
a good bit.
Next one comes here from Tony Reyes 5256. Says this episode left me wondering what happened to Rob when he took mushrooms with Daryl from Scottsdale in Vegas. What is this story, Rob?
I think I mentioned it on the show last week because I returned fire on Nadeau for his 5 days in Vegas. Listen, everyone knows it's very cliche, but what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I don't think I'm going to go into the details of this. I live my life very publicly, but there are some things that are better left unsaid. That's all I'll say. Wasn't my not my proudest moments. Let's just put it that way.
Let's leave it at that. Next one comes from Taltieri51. Says, hot take. I like elite PGA players using the best technology. I'm in the minority, but I say let them use the technology. Let them juice. Let them use rangefinders. I want the incredible hole tearing apart courses and doing things normal human beings cannot. I want 30 under, 400-yard drives, and sticking shots to 8 inches. Let them break it. It's not ruined. It's just different. Jeff, how do we feel about this take?
Such a fucking idiot.
No, dude, this
No,
It's a
so
loyal.
wrong.
It could be a loyal listener of ours.
No, it's so
where do you draw the
broken.
line? Where do you draw the where do you draw the line?
Why do they need a club face that's as forgiving as a 20 handicap should use to make their 4 hours outside more enjoyable?
Well, why don't you just get a better club face if you're a 20 handicap then?
Huh?
Well, you're complaining about like these guys having good technology. Just buy better clubs. I don't understand.
No, the 20 handicap is
got-
using
Oh,
the
he's
best
using it.
clubs
Oh, okay.
because he wants to make his 5 hours
Yeah.
outdoors more
Yeah.
enjoyable.
So why can't they do it as well?
Because they're professional golfers.
They're professional.
So?
They should put some skill in striking the ball in the center of the club and not misses like toes going 300 yards. Anyhow, whoever this is, I can't see her name. He should be happy. PGA plays resort course fucking golf 98% of the weeks. You're don't worry.
Should they? How about this? Are they allowed to juice? Like would you allow that? Would you be fine if they were juicing?
Yeah, just make it public
Okay.
if they get caught.
But like, just no ban. Like
The problem with
release banned substances.
the-
Like just don't have a banned
The
substance.
problem with allowing juicing in sports is that then you're at a competitive disadvantage if you don't want to juice.
Yeah.
And there's negative implications that come with juicing or negative.
So
do
like
it
just
safely.
juice the balls.
Well, like-
Why get the guys out? Get
I
the guys
guess.
out. Just
You don't-
pitchers get them out.
You don't think Phil is on TRT though? How old is he? 60?
Yeah, I don't care.
He's definitely on TRT. That's juicing. That's
Sure, but
literally
live is
quite
different.
literally.
Guy plays
juicing.
once every 2 months on
Okay,
fucking live. Whatever.
He's the oldest golfer I could think of.
He did hit an absurdly good chip shot. Like
Yeah, Phil's a legend.
Yeah.
And I say it like he's like a golf mascot, but I don't mean mascot in like the derogatory.
Like doing
Like
backflips.
I'm, working. I'm like at a kid's amusement park having to take pictures, and that's my life.
Yeah.
I mean, like he's just there, and we like him, even if he's playing for the fucking loser tour.
All right.
Are we done with comments?
one
We have
more.
one more. Last one, vertical again. Rishi needs a 5-minute segment next week for the apology from the crew for you all being bad at math. He's a normal human, won't say many crazy things. I did apologize to him
Yeah.
on Twitter, by the way, but we should put it on
I
here,
could take
though.
this one.
Yeah.
Listen, I've reviewed the tape. Me and Jacob did some bad math. It really listen. It really didn't have anything to do with the rest of the segment, but we did mention that the math was bad, so we do owe Rishi an apology. Accept my apology. I'm only human.
And I don't
make
pretend to be
mistakes.
smart like these guys. I just know I'm dumb. So if 2 guys are in the room are like, that's what the math is, and one of them's Rob, I'm like, yeah, that's the math.
No,
So I don't even take
Why is Kirk
responsibility.
not getting any blowback from this?
Kirk.
He should,
don't
I
know.
guess.
He
But
should.
Who cares?
He says
Is that why he
needs-
left the show? That's why he's not here today.
He needs an apology from the crew. The crew assumes everyone.
All right, I'll be Kirk Evans right now.
Well,
Sorry.
Yeah. Apologies,
Sorry, Rishi.
Listen, we get it wrong a lot of times, and it is important to clarify these things every now and
We
then.
don't run.
Don't run from it.
don't hide.
Don't bury those tweets. I
Sorry.
don't delete
Go ahead,
them.
Jeff. You want to say
I
something?
just Bet Bash is coming up.
Yeah.
It's great. Maybe next year I'll be there. A lot of people wondering. Sorry. I totally agree that it makes sense and that it's good to go to if you're a professional bettor and you use it properly. The people that go back go, I'm not even the person to vouch for it, but I'm vouching for it. Circa's great. So I've done like a 180 on 98% of the operation.
Where is this coming from?
Yeah, what was
Yeah,
What
what
is
is
the floor?
This fucking Hall of Fame thing is the most pretentious, like pathetic. It is like the McDonald's yelling at Fats level of Hall of Fame. This pro sports betting Hall of Fame
Here's the
for
problem.
all these guys who spend their careers acting or wanting to act in like anonymously to then want to be honored after the
Well,
fact.
a lot of
in
these
like
guys are bookies.
in a circle jerk. So we're honoring bookies. Who gives a shit?
I'm going to defend it. Here's the only reason I'm going to defend it.
Janitors Hall of Fame.
Jeff?
Why don't we have one?
We should.
could.
There could. Let's do it.
Here's what I will say.
The one dog.
If you're good, like, is there a Hall of Fame for the greatest mailman? No.
There's
The
context.
people in the neighborhood just be like, that's a good mailman. I'm going to get him a nice Christmas present.
I ordinarily would not disagree with your point. Here's the context.
Sorry, I gotta
There
let you know.
already is a sports betting Hall of Fame, and it is a joke.
Let it be a joke.
But
You don't have to save it.
Like-
because it shouldn't be saved.
I don't know, man. Like when you look at the inductees into that,
You don't need to white knight it. Like, Circa does not need to white knight this.
No, it's a nice section in their casino for people to come visit every now. I see people go and look at the people that are in the sports gambling hall of fame. Sports gambling hall of fame.
Are we going to that dinner? Is that part of the itinerary of Bet Bash?
be at that
You're going to be at that dinner?
If they
Can
put
I
a
make-
picture of Fats wearing Stormy's underwear on his head, they would look at that too.
Can I make a
Jason,
request?
you agreed to go to this.
Yeah, no.
by the way.
I want to be here. I want to go to.
and then
But
they
wait,
You
want-
don't like that it's a black tie event. Don't even get.
wait,
Stop. No, Jeff, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Can we bring a cardboard cutout of Geoff to the event so
No.
that he can be my date? Like,
I'll
can
go
we do
to
that?
Bash one year. I forbid to attend that circle.
Okay, I'm gonna bring a cardboard cutout of you
I
to
sit
the
at the
event.
same table every year. That Zach Gamble Balls is always next to me. Great dude. We just have a.
I was obviously sharing my opinion on the Fats thing with the McDonald's because he got ranked number.
He might be right, by the
he
way.
ranked-
Anyways,
he
sorry.
ranked Power One. When you power rank number one in the most delusional, deranged rant, I don't glad hand it. I acknowledge it. And then people coming back at me saying I need to respect him. He is a Hall of Famer.
Okay, that's yeah.
Like, show some respect.
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And
Well-
this was not said as like a joke.
Listen,
Is Fats in the Hall of Fame?
he
I
said no. The tweet was he will be.
Got it. Because I don't remember
Future
him
Hall
giving a
of Famer.
speech at any of these things. So yeah, future Hall of Famer, Jeff.
Yeah.
That's what the tweet was.
And also, there's a panel that votes on these. so
but
we
you're
don't know
right.
if
It was
He's
like
on the
respect.
panel,
He's
isn't
going to
he?
be in the
Yeah,
Hall of
he
Fame.
is.
Respect him. That's what the tweet was.
I think he's right about his takes. But anyways, we don't have to get into that today.
You think he's... No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this again.
I do. We can talk about this after if you want. But like, he's right.
I don't want to
fine.
hear
He
a
might-
contrarian
Well-
take. We're not doing this
Well,
again.
maybe it might be a different because we're Canadian. I feel like maybe we just like our McDonald's workers work a little harder. But he's right. They shouldn't have.
It's not about it. It's the extent
God.
to which he's
Yeah,
taken
it's
this
not even,
bullshit
like, who
trivial
cares?
issue.
It's a non-issue.
Yeah.
We've talked about this for it appeared on 2 Circle Back shows already.
Three
this
now.
is the 3rd
Yeah.
now.
right.
It is a non-issue for the person in the drive-through to say, "Can you go pull ahead to that spot?" And someone comes and still hands you your food. You're not getting out of your car. Like, it's a non-issue. It's literally a nothing burger.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I still disagree with you guys.
Even if there's no one behind you, someone could pull in behind you.
Yeah, but
They
then
have
but
to
then
put your fucking
let's not
McChicken in the
focus-
fryer.
how about this compromise?
If we had to rank the most useless, should not exist Hall of Fames, this should be that one.
you
of
should
them.
start that Hall of Fame then.
What Hall of Fame?
janitorial?
The use the
custodian?
most. Oh, you're talking about the sports betting Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like the most useless tweets of all time.
No, I don't care.
Okay.
There's Hall of Fame. There's accounts, Hall of Fame tweets or something. There's
Okay.
gems that
I
should
don't know.
always be remembered.
I think this one should be.
You gotta
remembered.
go. You gotta glad hand it. Whatever.
Well,
I'm not glad handing. I just agree with. I agree with him.
You agree with what?
I agree with his take.
We're not talking about
He agrees.
McDonald's.
I was just
He
saying-
agrees
I
with
just-
Fats when Fats says
Yeah.
that you shouldn't have to pull up to a parking spot to get your order when
That's
nobody's
fine.
in
What
line.
do you think of there being a sports gambling hall of fame?
I don't know.
The
I think it's fun.
context matters, in my opinion.
I think it's fun.
I think in a vacuum, you could definitely, from the outside looking in, being like, yeah, this is too much. But when you see the original sports betting Hall of Fame and you see the people who have been inducted, it is basically a slap in the face to you as a sharp bet.
And it's also like betting as like an industry is also very isolating, right? So it's like it's good to have an excuse to bring people like, which is what Bet
Where
Bash
does
is. But
this
like,
hall of fame that you're ashamed of even exist?
it's good to bring people together.
No, where is it? Exist?
You're can I say something? You're old man yelling at clouds right now. It has zero effect on you. It has not like you don't have to participate in it at all.
Yeah.
People are enjoying it, and you just want to poo-poo on the people enjoying it.
Yeah, you just inserted it into the show, man.
Like this, you brought this up.
I
You
have a
brought
thing.
this up.
Yeah, I think it's shit. I think it's so stupid. I think it's such a
can
pathetic
I say something?
circle jerk.
What did you think about Fats tweeting so many times about McDonald's? Like you thought it was
Equally-
annoying and stupid, right?
equally-
You're doing
no.
the exact same thing right now with this, with the
If
Sports
I-
Betting Hall
if-
of Fame.
you know what?
are doing the exact same thing right now.
No, if I'm
You
doing
are.
this for 3 straight fucking weeks and I take it to Twitter, then yes, shut
How
up.
long have you been doing this
Listen,
bit for like
Jeff,
3
Jeff
the
is
last
years?
time this gets
tweeting
brought
the
up on
fucking
this show.
president
This is the third
of the
year you're doing
United
this bit
States
about the Hall of Fame.
to write about to
What are you
do
talking
something about
about?
this.
What?
Jeff is not trying to get Donald fucking Trump to solve this issue.
And I'm not going to tweet about it for
He's
a
out
week.
writing
I
a
said it
novel
here,
every
I'll
day
say it
on
last
Twitter
year,
about it.
I'll say it the year before.
But you've been constantly this is like a bit that's been drawn out for 3
because
years.
I have actually softened on Bet Bash.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of the positives of it. And listen, I'll be honest. As I've gotten older and my friends become the biggest fucking pussies and their wives control them, maybe I need a grow a friend convention. Right? Like, so I'm just saying, like, you know, but the Hall of Fame, put on your nice slacks. Let's jerk these guys off. It makes no sense to me because isn't being a great sports bettor also wrapped up in like working anonymously?
Yes
like,
and no. Like, if you're great in your field, some people want to be recognized for being great in their field. It's nice.
And Fats determines it?
Well, he's on a panel of like 20 people that determine it, roughly. There's some sort of vote that happens every single year.
What's wrong with celebrating an industry? That's my question. What's wrong with that? You don't have to be involved in it at all. You don't have to do anything. If people want to dress up, and it's like going to any gala ever. Like
the industry can be celebrated.
yeah.
The singling out and creating a Hall of Fame to me is ridiculous.
There is another Hall of Fame for this where Chad Millman got inducted this year. If you were
so this was like literally like the counter, like we can't have this be.
I think I don't know the motivations for setting this. I think it was probably set up at some point to be a regular part of Bet Bash.
This just seemed Bet Bash, like the people, the conferences. This just felt like a placeholder in the original installments of it.
Listen, I'm not going to lie to you, okay? I don't love going to this dinner every year because it's long. It drags. Like, you got years where you got 10 people inducted. Not only is everyone giving a speech, but they're getting introduced by someone. There's a video.
Kill me. It's like a wedding. And you see a big wedding party, and you're just like, shoot me.
Well, halfway through it, I got no energy left, and there's a party happening afterwards.
And they like close the bar while other people are giving speeches.
You can go to the bar.
Because those are the nutloads.
Me and Whale Capper and Andy Molitor were meeting at the bar pretty regularly last year, but that's besides the point. I can understand the way.
Would you like me to not rant about Bet Bash?
No, you can continue. You can continue.
I'm never going to show you.
rant that Whale Capper needs to put on more sunscreen.
Okay, maybe just tag Donald Trump next time you're ranting about Bet Bash. Sorry, Spanky. Whoever is the like.
It seems like you could really sit down.
Hold on a second. You have like literally had such a dog on a bone on Twitter about like you were investigating Taylor Mathis. Did she give did this thing go through?
What?
Did this not go through? And
He reported back after one day.
I'm bringing this up on a podcast where we talk about the space.
Yeah.
It's in the season of. I don't think I'm near. I might be nuts. I know I'm nuts. I'm not nearly as out of bounds as you are making.
This
it
is
out.
your.
Okay, no, that's fair.
People like not a lot of people will get this reference, but this is your cussed corner, basically. Like this is your version of cussed corner. We should give you
Sure.
your own version of that. What could we call it?
I could do
what's a alliteration with G? Jeff's. I don't know. We'll need some suggestions.
Yeah,
for
maybe
that.
comment it down below.
I don't know where this came from. I do
gonna-
like that.
It
was
came
brought up.
from the fact
he brought it up.
that I
You-
was
you brought it
told-
up.
That I was told that I was in disagreeing with someone was told I have to give extra reverence to this person because of this.
No, I would.
Yeah,
and
that
it
would rattle
felt-
me. That would
see,
rattle
and
me.
yeah,
This
so-
guy might one day be in the sports betting Hall of Fame. It's like I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
His point is wrong. I can argue.
But you also don't. You can,
we're not arguing sports betting.
No,
we're arguing about fucking McDonald's.
I agree,
drive-thru.
but you could also tell that person to fuck off without bringing up your opinion on the Sports Betting Hall of Fame as a whole on a show.
He's allowed to voice his opinion.
That's fair, yeah.
I just don't
That's-
agree with it.
yeah.
I think there is a place for
Jeff is gonna kill me.
I think-
He's staring at me like he's gonna strangle me, like Bart Simpson, Homer Simpson. Like I can see it in your eyes.
I understand the points. And I think a lot of people who are on the outside looking in might be like, wow, this is, a big circle jerk, basically. I think there is an...
But am I also not like the guys who are the best? Like you're great at sports betting. Yes, some of you want your critical acclaim, but aren't like the best guys like working in shadows?
Wrap this up.
Well,
I agree.
I'll say this, right? If I
This is more relevant than breaking down Jalen Green's ability.
We didn't.
I'm just saying.
Don't
I
don't
agree.
throw shade at Jacob.
I'm
he just brought
saying,
up.
I'm just
he
putting
brought
it
up
out
a
there.
30-second.
This is more relevant to the what the show is than if Jalen Green is a good or bad basketball
we didn't
player.
talk about that at all.
I'm just
We
saying.
30 seconds on it is
Even
fair.
I
the
just
trade.
threw in a little stat. I
Other
don't
than
think
the
I-
trade.
I
You got
was-
daggers
I
getting
didn't
thrown
mean
at
to
you,
do
Jacob.
the drive. I love Jacob. I
Throw
didn't
him
mean
under
for
the
a drive
bus.
by. You out exaggerate everything.
I think part of for me what the struggle is I don't resonate with a lot of the people that are on her now because they're all older.
Yeah.
They're people that like paved the way for the industry. So it's like this
Good to
person
thank
was
them, though.
at this sports book in 1971 and he invented the parlay and this and that. And like, yeah, we wouldn't be where we are nowadays, but that to me doesn't resonate. But over time, like I'm sure I will see friends of mine that get inducted, like guys like Rufus, for example. And I think it'd be a great honor for someone like that and to be in attendance for that. So I know what you're saying. And like, I'm just being candid here. I don't look forward to going to it every year, but I do go to it every year. And it's not because I have to. It's because I'm kind of interested in what's going to go down at these ceremonies. Like one day, maybe fucking Jeff Benson is inducted and I will be there in the front row and like I will truly appreciate it. But I think there's a spot for it.
I'm excited for the day when they build out the content branch and Jeff Fienberg is invited to accept an award.
If the charade is still going on when it's time to induct Benson and Rufus, who are both absolutely worthy of great praise.
Yeah. Will you be there for Shipper's induction? So sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
I'll just 30 seconds.
Jacob is losing his
literally
mind.
Christmas tree. My DMs light up like a Christmas tree from people you respect so much.
I know.
When I say boo about shipsticks.
Shipper is polarizing in the space. It took
That's
me,
all, like,
it took a very long time for me to come around on him.
I don't know that there's anyone else that I bring up where my DMs light up. And you would think like I delivered food to like an orphanage. Thank you. Appreciate you for saying that. Like, oh, thank you. Okay, I'm the one.
You're the guy.
Why is everyone afraid? I don't know.
I don't know.
Hey, he loves our show. That's good. No, watches every week.
He was probably fast forwarded through. We did 45 seconds. Let's move.
45.
No, I mean on Chipper.
Oh, on Chipper. Okay, yeah, sorry. I do need a full body like picture of you though, so I can get a cardboard cutout, bring you to the gala.
I want to. I've got
You're
other
there in
jobs
spirit.
this summer.
Okay, all right. You're there in spirit.
I look forward to attending.
I do as well.
You should. I want. It's gonna be fun. Do it. Go.
Okay.
The gala?
You don't have to go to that.
Next topic comes from @ChuckGoldberg. First of all, who says Dexter, but instead of serial killers, he targets quote-unquote creators who use homeless people for content, and it's Sean Perry. I can't even fucking believe this is real. He went up to a homeless person and said, He said basically like if his parlay wins, he's gonna give him.
No, it was a piece of his Thunder bet.
He
in
put
Game 6.
5,000 on the OKC Thunder for this homeless guy. Which
I watched this video sadly,
It's
and he
disgusting.
said like I can't remember the amount he said, but he's something like I bet 100,000 or 150,000 on the Thunder.
5,000.
for this,
Sean Perry said he bet 150-ish thousand, but he was giving the homeless man $5,000 of that.
no, he said I need good luck, so I'm going to place a $5,000 bet for you, which is like also the most disgusting thing because you're basically dangling $5,000 into a guy's face who probably has like never even seen anywhere close to that much money in it. Like I don't know what his life is, but
did
like
you see the follow up?
no, what did he say?
They're at the Padres game, right?
They went to the Padres game together.
No, they didn't.
They went on a bunch of roller coasters
my
together.
fucking God.
He took this guy out for like a full day.
That's
They
crazy.
hung out
Okay,
like they were
well,
they're
I know.
best buds.
What would have
I
happened
mean,
if
I
they
know
lost,
some of
though?
the sight lines is La Jolla, San Diego.
Yeah.
What are you getting out of here?
I'm saying some of the scenery. It's
Oh,
like I
like
know
where he's-
exactly
okay, I
where
got
he's
you.
loitering about town with homeless people.
Yeah.
I just like, I don't know. This is just crazy. Dangling $5,000 in front of someone who has like literally, I don't know. Don't know his situation, but obviously has very little money.
What was the second one of here? Is it still Sean Perry? Oh
No, this
This
one's this is Monahan, right?
yeah.
This is Alex Monahan
This-
who tipped his bartender with a parlay.
He didn't technically. He gave him a piece of paper.
He gave him
This isn't even a bet.
He
slip.
gave him. He printed out.
Yeah,
a
that's not how
fucking
it works.
parlay
That's not-
and
that's
gave
not
it
what-
to his bartender. So I guess if it wins, he's gonna give him.
He's gonna
That's what he
take out
said.
cash
He
and
said
give it to him?
if you win, if this wins, this is going to be your tip. It's
How about-
$5,000.
How about you this? How about you do this? You take the bet amount that you put on that parlay.
Yeah, agreed.
You give him that and say, here you go. Here's your tip. But you know what? You should place this parlay. I have it for you. Go do it. Go for fun. Instead of
or just
forcing
say,
the poor bartender to
or say I'll either give you the tip, or if you want
The parlay?
you can bet it. Yeah, you're right. You know what? Like, you put it correctly. The bartender can make his own fucking bets.
yeah.
See, like to me,
Spit in his fucking drink, man.
both of these things are so pathetic.
Yeah, it's all for content.
Well, okay. First of all, spinning charity for content, in my opinion, is just fucking
Yes.
It's pathetic.
Yes.
Like if you want to help someone, fucking help them. If you want to tip your bartender $5,000 because you can, do it. If you want to give a homeless man $5,000 because you can, fucking do it. But the minute that they start spinning it for content, it's like I get the ick. You know, like
It's nefarious. It has like these implications behind it where it's like it's just so disingenuous and nefarious.
This man sold a company for $80 million. It could be $160 million with bonuses, and he's out filming content where he's printing out parlays and giving them to his favorite bartender. Like, imagine me just going to my favorite bartender and giving them a lottery ticket and being like,
what about
that's
giving
your
your
tip.
mom a
that's your
lottery
tip
ticket?
if you win. Here's a scratch card, buddy.
It's not even I guess it was just a lottery ticket. Be like, fine. Like instead of giving me $10, you gave me this scratchy that's worth 10. If you are actually like if I'm a waiter, and you would like, I just want the $5,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to try to win 20x. I actually really need $5,000. Got to fix my car. Got to get my kid new shoes. Like, I just need that money. I don't want to gamble it if I'm your waiter, your regular patron. I don't know. I don't like this.
This isn't in Canada, so like tax implications with this as well is also just might be a nightmare for someone who doesn't know what's going on with like betting and the taxes of it. Do we know how much was like what the original stake amount was for this bet? Do we know? Or no?
I thought it paid like $5,200.
Sorry, what? I thought, didn't someone say it was 5,000? I heard that wrong.
No, it's a small amount.
Oh,
The
then I
wager
don't
amount
care.
is small.
It looks
a
like
bit
it's only,
blurry. Let me
it looks
find
like
the
it's
video
mid two
again.
figures as someone on
mid two figures.
Oh, I
mid two
don't.
figures.
Actually, this bothers me a lot less.
Why?
Because he's probably also giving a tip.
Well, sure, but
Probably, but it's
And
just
now he's doing this for content.
content. Yeah.
If it's his regular like establishment, no, it just.
Maybe yeah. No.
I thought this was an insanely large ticket. It was
Like a
almost like
$1,000
making a
ticket.
mockery
Yeah.
of. Like,
Well,
it is a mockery, dude.
Sorry, so he bet $11 to win.
No, I don't care.
Yeah.
$1,258.
I don't care. I thought he was like, instead of giving the waiter $1,000, he made the waiter sweat a parlay.
You seem furious.
Because I guarantee I'm confident enough, naive and an idiot enough to
I know,
think
but-
Monahan is also greasing with a real
Whether
tip.
he is or not,
Besides the point.
It's a bit.
He's
Who gives a
irrelevant.
shit? He sucks,
it's
but it's
a
a
shit bit.
I agree.
It's
Yeah,
the shittiest.
I'm not
bit.
debating. It's a good.
It is the lowest of the low bit. Like Sean
all-
Perry, I at least expect that from him. Like taking the
Okay, I
homeless guy
agree.
to the fucking amousement
Yeah,
park
but
and
like
like
last time we had Monahan on, it was like, oh, here's my friend's kid, and we're making a parlay. Like all of Monahan's bits suck.
Yeah, they suck.
But I'm just saying, I am dumb enough to think the waiter got his normal tip.
I just hate I just really despise the charity for content. Like they really rub me the wrong way. I can't explain
You
what it
should.
is.
It's awful.
It fucking makes my skin
So
crawl.
what if you
Yeah.
said that I'm gonna bet, like I'm betting a lot. I love this golfer this week. For every birdie he makes, I'll give.
I think
X
that's
amount of
different.
dollars.
I think that's way different. There's a difference between
Is that-
doing that and pretend.
That's like for
it's not
content,
charity.
though.
It's like you're pretending to be charitable.
bit?
You're pretending to be charitable towards a individual, and you're putting a phone in their face saying like, "Here's money," but like you're almost like dangling money in front of them, and I think
Literally
that's
is.
weird. Like if you're saying like if this hits, I'll donate 1,000, like 10% of it to charity. That's different because you're not involving a person into that piece of content. You're just taking a chunk of that money and throwing it to charity, which is good.
It's just like the charity is not the motive.
Yeah, the
Which
motive is
I
bothers me,
agree.
right?
I agree. It's a
Like
bad bit.
you got a guy homeless in the park, and you're like, "Here's $5,000
I
on
don't
the
think it's
Thunder
his
tonight."
villain. I don't think it's like villain mode, though.
It's like close to villain. It's like
You draw the you.
it's scumbaggery.
This is in villain mode, but God forbid we create a Hall of Fame for sports gambling. then everyone there's a villain.
Let's call balls and strikes fairly. No one there is a villain. I just think it's unnecessary and a little like.
Okay, I have a question here. How much do you think he should have spent at the bar if he was tipping $11? This is a bartender. Not. I assume it's like not like a food restaurant. It's like bar.
I don't know, $11 tip, $50 worth of drinks,
Okay.
something like that, roughly. 60 to 50, 60 bucks. 4 beers.
That's a good tip.
You don't even.
Anyways, sorry. We can talk about tipping culture later.
I'm not defending Monahan. I don't want to come off as like simping for
It
Monahan.
really did sound like
I
it.
just didn't think it was like
We
top
got
shelf
Kurt,
evil.
the sportsbook simp. We got Jeff,
Never.
the Monahan simp.
No.
All right.
Not happening.
You frustrated me there, Jeff, a little bit. Thought you were going to be on my side. I like it better when you're on my side.
You have me now instead. Anyways.
Next topic is the Degen Weekly. At the Degen Weekly, the degenerate who made a trip north of the border to Toronto documented the experience here, so we can discuss a little bit of his opinions of Canada and Toronto culture. He says, do they sell American spirits on the other side, or do I need to turn around and show a photo of him at the border? You could just go to the duty-free, and get stuff on your way in. Wouldn't that have been smart?
Are there tariffs on the duty-free alcohol? Or
It's duty-free.
I don't know.
It's called duty-free.
Yeah, duty free.
I don't know.
There's no duties. And it's way cheaper. Anyways, do that next time. Then he says, no rest stops on Canadian highways. Interesting choice. Not a fan of it.
true?
Well,
Absolutely not
yeah,
true.
but also
What
where
is
did if he came in through Niagara, which is what
So
it
he
looked
came in-
like,
he-
it's
so
like
he-
an hour and a half to Toronto. Why do you need to make a rest
So he
stop?
came
and
in through. He came in through Buffalo, and
It's like an hour and a half
So
drive
he took
to
the
Toronto.
He took the 403 from Buffalo to Toronto. I would assume there are no en routes on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just-
Hold on, though.
I
There's
will
one
say,
on route right in like Grimsby,
Not on the 403.
right past. You're
Okay.
on the 403.
You're on the wrong highway.
Well, also the 403 goes through Hamilton, Burlington, Oakville, and Mississauga, which are all very large cities that have a lot to do. You could have just stopped in.
there
Yeah.
are rest stops on Canadian highways. They are just, there's a longer distance between rest stops, usually, I would say, on Canadian
Around
highways
70
than American.
kilometers?
But there
Around
are.
40
But we still have like at this exit.
You
there's
can
like
pull
these
off
gas
anywhere
stations.
at any exit and find.
But the exits all have like the signs of
Yeah.
what food and drink
Yeah.
and gas
Lodging
are
and-
within
yeah.
like the 2 minutes of the exit. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah, no.
This is
These
a
are
horror-
not-
this is
this
a bad
balls and-
take. Very
I don't
bad
like this
take.
balls and strikes.
Then he went to Toronto Blue Jays game. Says, why does nobody talk about how the Toronto Blue Jays are the best hot dogs in baseball? Look at these things; they are glistening, which is debatable.
What
So,
on earth is going on?
Well, I will have to say that I vehemently disagree. Is that the word? Disagree with this.
That is a
take.
good word, yeah.
I out of some
Well,
people.
you ate the rancid loony
Okay, well,
Tuesday, loony
yeah.
$1
I
Tuesday
tried to do
dogs are
999.
rancid. They're rancid.
and I got to dog number 7,
what
and
do
I
you
almost
think is
threw
in
up
a
in my mouth.
$1 hot dog from a baseball stadium?
It's a
Okay,
loss
these are-
leader.
but these
There's
are-
no difference than
wait,
any other
there's a,
law
there's a
dog.
distinction
It's a loss
to be made.
leader.
There's a distinction to be
Those
made.
look like
These are
the
not the
regular,
loony dogs.
Yeah, they're not.
Those
Those
are
look
dogs. They're
fine.
all the same.
They're not all the
They
same.
are all
No,
the
they're
same.
not the same.
They're not all the same.
These are like these are the
loony
bigger
dogs
ones.
are like boiled hot
Yeah,
dogs,
they
dude. They're
don't-
disgusting.
They're even in size. They're no, they're
I
not
haven't
the
eaten
same.
lunch yet. I could tell you by looking at this picture.
I
hang on, hang on.
go to a lot of J games. They're not the same.
No, they're
Okay.
different, but these might be the loony dogs. I'm trying to
Those
find
are
out.
not the loony dogs.
They don't even have the loony
No,
dogs
no, no.
rolling.
No,
They don't have-
they do because they sell them at
Yes,
the
they
dugout
do.
deal spots.
Yep.
which,
Guys,
uh,
this is an afternoon game. This is not loony dog
no,
night.
but they still sell those hot dogs on non.
They sell the cheaper
dog
hot
days,
dogs.
but they don't sell
They're-
them for
don't
$1.
eat the loony
They do
dogs.
not have the loony dogs. Do not have the glisten that these do. They look like a
Rancid.
matte,
Yeah, rancid.
boiled hot dog.
Okay, yeah, these are not. I'm looking at the video. These are
No
not from
shit.
dugout
I know
deals.
my hot dogs at baseball games.
Yeah.
These are not the loony dogs.
These guys are glizzy guys, eh? No? All right.
I mean,
anyways.
the pro
Well-
move is to really get the sausage at the vendor
Yeah.
right before you get in the game rather than this. That's the pro.
Is that
Wants
the
the
play?
ballpark
Yeah,
experience.
outdoors. Yeah,
I do that. If I go to
Yeah.
a ballpark, I want to try the ballpark food and see what it's like.
Yeah.
In the other areas. Then there's next one here. Sandy Plashkis
Yeah.
posted a video of him. This motherfucker bought a children's medium Vladdy jersey. He said he bought a Vladdy jersey at the game because he was sweating out some Vladdy bets, but ended up going 0 for 4 in the game.
Just on that one, really quickly, I've never bought a jersey in my life.
I love jerseys.
think
I used to.
I think
I don't
they're
anymore.
pathetic.
They're great. You sleeve monster them and you have like a summertime shirt.
Yeah, I guess. But
I
with
guess
the
you're too
player
old to do that,
No,
but
but
no
like the
offense.
jersey with the player number on the, just get yourself like a Blue Jays T-shirt, dude.
No,
I
it's-
know that's what it is. I don't know. I just think the jersey is lame.
Yeah, I don't really have. I'm not really a jersey guy. I'm no longer really a jersey guy. Although, if like my son grows up to be chubby, he'll have the sickest jersey collection. Like
Beef
I
'em
got
up, Geoff.
duffel bags of this shit. So if he eats, he's gonna have the sickest vintage. But no, fuck jerseys, fuck fanatics, and fuck the knockoffs from Korea. So we're all screwed.
No, I'm
But they all
I'm
suck.
actually pro knockoffs now that Fanatics is a thing because I just actually
and I hate them.
I'd rather get those than
You heard
spend
the
it.
man. Pro knockoffs.
Yeah, well, for the dog shit that you get at Fanatics, it's the same quality. Sometimes
there's a time
those
and a
knockoffs
place.
are better.
There's a time and a place
Yeah.
for knockoffs.
Yeah.
Like
Why don't you support the local economy, man?
I
No,
do
don't-
support the
do
local
not support the
economy.
Michael Rubin economy. No.
Not a fan of white parties, eh?
Jeff.
Anyways.
hates the Sports Gambling Hall of Fame. Hates Michael Rubin.
He's actually just morphing into old man yelling at clouds.
I don't care.
I'm not saying that you do care.
I don't
It's
think
not.
that, I honestly don't think
It's
that
not like a
that's an
dig.
insult.
It's not a dig. I'm just being honest on how
Yeah. These kids, they're home from.
I've
Never mind.
this episode I've sacrificed so many Jays tickets. It's crazy.
the next post here was just of the Rogers Center renovation. It's one of the older stadiums in the MLB, and it was definitely one of the ugliest for a while. They've done quite a lot to revamp it. What do you
Yeah.
guys think of revamping it?
If you ever want to go to a baseball game and not watch the game, this like rooftop patio thing,
Oh, it's
a
great.
great thing. Like
really is.
I've gone a couple times, maybe you've seen a couple pitches, and yeah, it depends who you go with. Obviously, don't get me wrong, I like watching baseball every now and then, but like if you're with the right crowd, with like a certain group, you'll have some drinks, get the dugout deals, and
Personally,
it'll be a
I
good
never
time.
go to this spot because I'm there to watch the game, and I think it's nice, but I just don't care for
So
this at all.
there's one corner is the Corona rooftop patio, the other corner I forget the name of
Kids,
it.
it's a TD.
Yeah,
area.
but
Park
there
Social.
are some of the best seats. If you get there early, there are some of the best seats there that overlook the 500
Yeah,
section.
then-
And
You
if
know what
you,
I'm not
if you
doing?
want to
Getting
be,
there
general
early
you want to
for
be
general
fucking 4
admission.
nautical miles away from home plate. to
Okay,
get the
sure.
best seats.
If you
Do
want
know
a
how
$20
early-
ticket,
Do you know how early you probably got to get
Yeah.
to get the
There you
free
go.
general
Exactly.
admission?
best.
The
they are
good-
some of the
You're
best seats.
fucking a mile in the
Nah,
air, dude.
if you
The
like
best
sitting in the
seat.
outfield,
you need
it's good.
binoculars over there.
I like what they've done with the Rogers Center. I mean, it's the ashtray by the lake.
Wow.
They've given it another 20
that's a
years
good
of
one.
life. And I like it. I think they've done a nice job.
Then he was out with some. Who are these people?
Oh, it's the Gate 14 boys.
That's,
Johnny.
Okay.
and
Johnny and
Avery.
Avery. I don't know the three in the back.
So
Do you know what's funny is these guys keep ending up in my life too. And you had a beef with Johnny.
yeah,
one time.
but Johnny Junta on the left side there, right around Christmas time, he recorded a TikTok that was about something about the Chiefs in holiday games or something like that, and I made it a big thing, and we beefed for a little bit online.
I like Johnny.
And then
So
a few people I think reached out to him on the side, and they're like, "You guys shouldn't be beefing.
Yeah.
Like you guys are very much like each other." So he started watching Circle Back.
He's a fan. He goes at
sent me the
Zilbert.
funniest message. He's like, "God damn, Rob! Like I wanted to hate you so bad because of that video, but
He
he's like,
also
you're
did
actually a cool guy."
To be honest, in fairness, because like I think there's a lot of people out there that just know the narratives or the tropes about like betting and like a pro sports bettor.
Yeah.
He was just like he self-admitted, like he didn't really.
He said that to me in the message. He's
I
like, "Listen,
understand
you were
that.
right to call it
Johnny's
out."
great.
Yes.
Sportsnet, the people that cover the Jays actually suck, and these boys
Yeah.
at Gate 14 do
No,
pretty solid Blue Jays content. They had a golf event. I mean, like they went golfing with some of the Jays last week, like on their own, to do some content. And then a guy who's a pro at my club was like, just came up to me out of the blue and was like, "You know Johnny?" Yeah. So I was like, anyhow, a lot of words of Johnny. We got to say this though.
Go ahead.
You know what we're gonna do now?
We're gonna do a collab.
Johnny, like they threw out the first pitch of the Blue Jays.
Yeah,
game
that was the coolest
Okay,
thing,
so
by the way. They deserve that.
DJ
That's
Weekly
great.
came in
For that. That's why he was here.
Okay.
This all makes sense.
But did you? Sorry, Johnny. Did
I
you
almost-
see the first pitch from this guy?
I didn't want to have to do it.
Like
it did not go
he
great.
looks athletic. He looks like he's been pumping some iron.
He used to play college baseball.
So I would like to say I
think.
get how
Or high
this
school?
could happen. Like I mean this. Rob and I could go play catch for 25 minutes. He would leave that being like, "You're fine. You are fine, bro. You'll do fine. I know it. We just literally threw it 50, 60 feet for 20 minutes. You have the throw. You're fine." I get out there and do not 50 Cent did, but like do what Johnny did.
Yeah.
Like
he really took I think who was Ernie Clement I think was catching it, and he took him like really far up the third
funny
base
if
line.
Ernie like pulled a shoulder having to reach
Which
for
was,
John.
listen, I get it. You get amped up and whatever. Taylor Lewan, former offensive lineman in the NFL as well, recently threw out like a terrible first pitch, and he just like. I will say credit to these guys who lean into it.
Yeah, you
rather
have
than
to.
trying to pretend it didn't
Yeah.
happen.
I know, like me, like Fleetwood. Like I would miss the putt.
Yeah.
If something big was on the line, I had 6 feet.
What are you talking about? We played head-to-head mini golf. You didn't miss any putts.
I
my
did
man.
beat you, but
I'm actually wearing the exact same attire that I wore when I lost
Anyway,
you that day.
Awesome. I didn't
No,
know. This all makes sense.
Yeah.
And now we're probably really boring the audience. Go
Well,
Jays. Go
I
Gate
just
14.
I just want to throw out good for them because they've really cut their teeth in like the baseball, like at least the Toronto baseball scene. Like they've done a really good job. And like I know people who like know Johnny. I've talked to him a couple times. Like these guys are great guys, and like this couldn't happen to like a better group of people in the content space because there's some shitty people who have grown really large, and like these guys are not that, which is good.
And this is my opinion. What I'm about to say is just my opinion.
Okay.
The people who cover the Jays suck. There's no Jays content.
Yeah.
It is the only entity on the universe that has said, this YouTube thing doesn't exist to us. We're not using that thing. So when I say there is a need in the marketplace for Blue Jays content, because the people who not only own the team but own the sports channel literally do nothing with the product, I mean that, and I end up watching a lot of their content because I love the Jays and I don't get Jays content anywhere. And they're a little too homery at times for me because sometimes I want to cut it, but homery is better than the deplorable clickbaity,
Negativity,
trashy. That's the opposite. So
That's
I
all
give them
Toronto media
credit.
is, by the way. Like we are the worst at like covering our own teams. We love to do the opposite and not be homers, which I hate, by the way. So that's just this is
Shout
like
out
an inside
Gate
baseball
14.
Toronto.
This
Yeah.
whole thread.
Do you know we've done this? They have a night coming up in July against the Cubs where they have a whole section. They partnered with the Jays and Vladdy, giving away Vladdy Gate 14 t-shirts. Go check out their Twitter if you're actually a Jays fan in Toronto.
Highly recommend as well. This whole thread from Degen Weekly, I've said on the show before, I like this guy quite a bit. Toronto's awesome. You can just chill on the beach whenever you want. No better place to be in summer.
This is an AI-generated photo, by the way.
Good to know.
I mean, look at
Oh yeah, look at the chairs. That is hilarious.
I was wondering where this was.
What?
This is not a real photo.
Yeah, I don't think it can be. I was trying to think of where
You
this
can
was.
look. You can go to a beach pretty much
Yes.
anytime.
Yeah, we
you
don't
want
have
in
those
Toronto.
trees in Toronto.
But this is
unless-
not a photo taken there.
About this entire thing. I was pretty glued to this live, the live tweeting of his trip to Toronto. I thought it was very wholesome content, like not, really trying to get anything out of it. I will say, what really resonated with me about this is when you live in a city. I live outside Toronto. I'm in Vaughan, but I have lived in Toronto and I'm pretty close. We work in Toronto. You often focus in on like a lot of the negatives of your own city. You're like, fuck, our public transportation sucks. Like the subway's brutal, only hits half the city. The traffic driving in and out is like, it's brutal. But then you see someone else come and experience your city that is just here, and they're like, this is like a fucking great city. And it's very refreshing. It kind of like brought me back to what I love about living in Toronto or like having been here my whole life. So I actually love that he did this.
I had the craziest experience because a couple weeks ago when my Mail Media Network live show, we were in hotels downtown. I never stay in a hotel downtown. Even when I was younger, partying my face off, I'd just go home. I woke up like 8:39, a walk around like a quiet downtown Toronto on the weekend. It was beautiful. It was a Toronto that I had never experienced in my life.
It was the night they were filming a movie there.
Yes, but even then the next morning, just walking around the Dome, around the ACC, like Lakeshore.
It's awesome.
Not with like rush, like it felt like I was somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it.
Toronto in the summer is like a
You can pick up your phone. You don't have to
Toronto
pretend
in
that
the
didn't
summer
happen.
is a top 5 city in North America. Honestly,
It's
I'll
amazing.
say that.
Toronto in the summer is amazing.
I could complain too. You want me to complain?
No, like honestly, you don't
course.
appreciate. I was in Vancouver.
Everyone can complain about their own city.
No, I was in Vancouver and it made me, it humbled me. I'm like, all right, I miss Toronto. I like being here. It's a great city to be in.
The next topic is
wow.
on.
Whoa.
wow.
This is a.
What?
Sorry, this is just a crazy
this is- yeah, I
juxtaposition.
The next topic is about betting on anything. John Lerner at John Lerner says this is the kind of stuff that's going to backfire on the prediction markets, and it's stuff like loosely originally was on like World War III sort of quote unquote World War III sort of topics. So the Fordo nuclear facility destroyed before July, or Iran nuke in 2025. A bunch of markets that are posted on Kalshi. Kirk Evans, who usually is on the show on Tuesday, says people think betting on wars is morally wrong, but I disagree. Goal of the strikes yesterday was to destroy Iran's nuclear facilities. Market doesn't think it was very successful. These aren't massively liquid markets, so it's not the full picture, but it's certainly a good data point. And then I think the main one that John Lerner was referencing here is Federal Chair Jerome Powell will speak soon, is the classic good afternoon coming. And the market is, what will Powell say during his June press conference? 96% good afternoon, 67% recession, 30% China, 18% crypto. And John finishes by saying, in less than 10 years, we've literally gone from betting is bad to betting on sports to creating new sports to bet on to literally bet on anything. Do you think we're in a good spot for betting with that, Rob?
So I will say this, John Lerner, if you don't follow him, I would highly recommend you do. I've had many conversations with him about sports betting before. I think he's extremely nuanced when it comes to this stuff. I think I know what he's getting at here. I like the new age of betting and being able to bet on everything. I like being able to see like public sentiment in real time on certain issues as well. I think it's cool. There's stuff that's overboard, like Will Powell say, good afternoon during his June press conference. Kind of feels like betting on like, is the sun going to rise tomorrow and stuff like that, where maybe it's a little bit overboard. There's definitely the side of things of like the problem gaming side of things as well, where if you offer more betting options to people, naturally it's probably not going to end well. But I find it highly engaging. I'm not going to lie. Even using the market as like a source of news
yeah.
in certain instances, right? Like,
Well, this past election cycle, a lot of people were referencing like those markets on like because they were much more efficient than what the poll data was. They were much more efficient, and it's like a way better
That's
view
exactly
into
how
things.
That's
Not
exactly how I
just
followed
the-
the Canadian election.
Not just the poll data, they crushed. Like once you saw Tim Walz moving there, like for the ancillary like VP choices, and stuff, like
They're ahead.
They're whatever. Their lean seemed to be how things have been turning.
Like
out.
we talked about earlier, when Shams gets leaked stuff, it's not actually a leak. The leaks are going to start to come through on these markets now instead of through.
yeah.
Because those people with information are going to tell other people they're not going to say anything and they're going to try and get ahead of the market.
Well, it still happens in sports. Like
course.
a couple weeks ago, the Vezina market, Connor Hellebuck, there was a huge spike. Not Vezina, a Hart Trophy market. It's a huge
disgusting,
spike.
by the way. I don't know how we didn't talk about that, but anyway, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
People don't care about hockey.
Yeah, I understand. Like, I get that point of view of like, when have we crossed the line into being completely overboard? Maybe we have already.
We have some mutual friends, Rob, who made a lot of money on Operation Midnight Kirk's Hammer.
I'll tell you who didn't. This network, because Operation Hammer, Midnight Hammer.
Fucks with our SEO, eh? Like pretty fucking hard. Pretty fucking hard.
Sorry, I didn't imply Kirk had it, even though he had the tweet.
Yeah.
I was just trying to incorporate his newsletter into Operation Hammer.
It was a good plug. I think some people might have missed
should
that,
that,
but I like
should
the
that be
clarity
his
on
next article title? Wouldn't that give
No,
us a ton of-
it will- it
wouldn't
will
that give
ne-
us a ton of clicks?
It will,
on the
No,
website?
it
it
will be
won't.
like 100th on the search.
Yeah, like, can we go back for a second here? Because, like, first of all, I just want to touch on the literally bet on anything. You kind of were always able to do that. It was just on the offshore stuff. Like, there's been markets up on some offshore websites where it's like, will the president be abducted by aliens? Like,
Sure, but this is now is becoming more widely available.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah, well, everything, right? Because you could even, I know in Toronto, some of the made-for-TV books,
and
or locally, it's like, what will the first day it snows be?
Yeah.
Or I'm seeing an ad that's generated to my Twitter feed from a sports book saying you can bet on when our new subway is going to open.
but you could also, it's the same thing with alcohol. It's the same thing with like all this stuff. It's like you can just drink whenever you want. You can you can
the
have
point
as
to
strong of alcohol.
Would that
as-
be why
it's not
are you
sub-
making more flavors? That's bad for addicts. Why are you
Well, yeah,
making?
but-
But also like the context matters too, right? Because like what you're referring to, betting in like an offshore sports book, you're literally betting into the book with a hold in that market, and a lot of times the hold is terrible. We're now dealing with peer-to-peer betting.
Yeah.
Basically, you're betting against other people. Now, technically, that's how markets work too, in some sense, but.
I think it's. I think it makes it better. Like, am I wrong in saying that? Like,
I think so too.
yeah.
I agree.
If you live in like this is bad to say, but if you like live in Washington D.C. or like close to the White House and you see Iran nuke in 2025, I don't know how you don't empty your bank account on the no. That's like a life hedge.
Yeah,
Like not trying to be like, I know it's kind of bleak and dark to say, but like if there is a nuke, you're probably like gonna die.
Yeah.
Like not to be
it's
like
actually,
again, like
it's very interesting. I never ever thought about
like,
it like that.
it's a life hedge right there. Like you just empty. Not financial advice. Don't recommend doing that. But I'm just saying like it could be a path that someone wants to take.
We
Like,
talked off air before the show today, and we talked about Tommy Fleetwood before we even came to air today. And I asked Geoff on the spot of like price the probability that Tommy Fleetwood will win a PGA Tour event in his lifetime, right? And then we tried to get a side bet going. That's almost like how I view these types of markets.
Yeah.
It's just another opportunity to get action on something that you want action on. I think I have to think about this a lot more, honestly, because I personally do love betting options.
Yeah.
I love options.
But some of the stuff is pretty morbid, right? Like
Yeah.
meteor, like this meteor's hitting the earth, and
But Jason's point, like if a meteor hits the earth,
you just bet the no.
yeah, just bet.
Okay, sure, but it's like
But it's never going to settle either.
Yeah, I know that's part of the problem. But that's why it's in
you could bet
2025.
on like
You got to be
another
careful.
like virus
Yes.
by a certain date. Like some of this stuff is like, oh.
But it's also informational in a way.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
say you have a market of like, will there be a pandemic in 2026? All right, let's just say there's a market, and there ends up with like $100 million in liquidity in that market, and it's like 60% yes. I might be personally in my life starting to prepare for some bad scenario. Like, this is what I mean, where it kind of has, it's weird where I kind of view it as news in a weird way. Like, I check these types of markets pretty regularly, and I when something's moving, I'm taking note. Yeah. And how that might actually affect my life. We
also preach like knowing the house rules. This is like this. If you're going to get into this, that's something you need to, before you bet anything, make sure you read the house rules for that, because like who knows how they're going to settle the, like, obviously I'm sure they have specific verbiage as how they'll settle those bets, but make sure you read them.
All right, let's go to the chopping block, and it's been a bit of a long episode, so let's whiz through these guys.
I don't know. This is Zilbo's favorite segment, so we can't really whiz through it.
Sure, he'll forgive you.
We're not reading this whole tweet.
No, it's a John Jones
retirement.
About
the tweet. John Jones retired and posted a really long message about all his feelings surrounding being retired, and then if you put it into a generative, is this AI generated? And somebody got that it was 100% AI generated. At Luca Fury says, couldn't even put the effort into his retirement speech. The most half-assed, lazy title reign in UFC history ends on a perfectly fitting note. Jason, you're the most
I'm going to chime in. I'm going to chime in here on this because John Jones is an asshole. He's a piece of shit. He's like, he was at one point a crackhead in his life. He's done some terrible fucking things, and obviously that stuff is contextualized in all this. But like, if we're talking about just in-ring UFC, but he is, like, people tried to discredit him. He is without a doubt the greatest fighter to ever live in human history. You put him up against any other human being in the history of the world in a one-on-one combat where there's no weapons involved, and he wins. And that's literally the entire point of the UFC, of MMA. It's man-to-man combat. Whoever is better wins. He is the greatest of all time. And I'm not talking about in the sport. I mean in the history of the world. He is a piece of shit. He's a deplorable human being. He was on crack. He hit a pregnant lady. He ran away. And he's done much worse things. There's already allegations about other... He's done terrible shit. But you know what? He can fucking fight. And that's like, at the end of the day, like, obviously, like, he needs to be remembered for other things. But like, let's not reinvent the wheel here. Let's not like be revisionist history. He's the best fighter to ever exist on planet Earth. And there will be no one ever like him. I don't think that'll ever be the case.
I'm not a huge fight fan anymore, but I would agree with you. I watched him dismantle Vitor Belfort in Toronto a decade ago. But like, at one point, George St. Pierre, best pound for pound fighter until he gets beat, and he's not. And then it's Anderson Silva.
He never got beat.
Matt Serra knocked
Oh, you're right. Sorry, he did. Sorry.
Anderson Silva, same thing. And then Chael Sonnen, like, basically, wrestles him. He's on the ground with him like 4 or 5 rounds before it pulls off like a miraculous submission. John Jones like never really came remotely close to.
The only time was Alexander Gustafsson, and you could like, he talks about that fight where he was on a coke binge the night before.
Yes.
So it's like,
the AI thing. Here's what I want to say about that. This can be very prevalent in society coming up. I literally have no problem with someone typing in a prompt to ChatGPT saying, I'm retiring from fighting. I want to thank my fans for their years of support. I want to thank the UFC, Dana. I want to talk about the highs and lows of my career. And then AI outputting something that you can post. I have zero problem with that. If the prompt is, I'm retiring, write me a speech, that's a little bit of a different story, because it shows like no innovation or no...
He's a fucking fighter.
Yeah, like,
but also, like, that's a part of it. He got hit in the head.
He actually did get hit in the head a lot.
My point is a combat.
The drugs
sports, like, who cares?
If he cares so much about writing a message, he didn't care enough to type it himself.
Doesn't want to embarrass himself with shitty spelling or shitty grammar or not being that articulate because he didn't fucking go to school or learn anything. I'm not the brightest, and I'm gonna probably use this thing to help me write my wife's birthday card.
This shit in jail. No, this shit happens all the time, though. It just might not be AI. It'll be a PR firm, someone's agent who writes it for them, and they tweet out. I forget who it was, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, who got sent a screenshot from their from what was it? A text? What was it? It was Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp got a text from his agent saying, "Tweet this," and he just screenshotted like the message in the in the text, and he tweeted that out. It's like all these guys don't write this shit themselves anyways. It
Half
doesn't
these
fucking
people you
matter.
watch like Talking Head TV, they're all sent their pointers.
My friend Gino got married like 3 weeks ago. I used ChatGPT to write his card. But my friend Gino's a huge Seinfeld fan. So I said, I want to put these points in here, and I want at least 3 Seinfeld references as well. I cannot come up with that on the spot.
No, of course not.
And it gave me a bunch of ideas. I said, no, I don't like this. I don't like this. I spent like
It's
15
like brainstorming.
minutes. Yeah, 100%.
It's efficiency.
Exactly. Efficiency is the way to go.
The next one comes
Speaking
from
of efficiency.
at Dan Lifshatz, who says, "You got to be fucking kidding me, Joey Knish," because Knish posted last week on Twitter, Sophie Cunningham being hot but also crazy and always ready to scrap makes her infinitely hotter. And this picked up a lot of traction from Knish on Twitter, but also people on Facebook, like Sports Spectators, who picked it up and posted it themselves.
I want to say, I don't like giving Knish credit at all, but he is the #1 gooner on gambling Twitter, and that's like, I'm proud of him for that. Like he really has
some
knowledge.
tweets that
he has tweets
instead of gooning.
What was it? The World Cup?
Iran,
the Iranian woman.
Iranian woman, where he said that he would get her a visa to come over. That is one of the funniest tweets. It went so viral. I will say this
tweet
about
went nuclear.
Top tier
Knish.
gooner. Oh, well.
I've known now Knish since he's come on the Twitter scene for a long time. I don't know this for certain, but I would say it's a very safe, educated guess that he does not put any thought into these tweets, and whatever comes into his head, he types it, and that usually makes for the best Twitter accounts. I don't know how he keeps doing this, but he has an ability to...
It's just who he is.
It is who he is.
He's just
born with it.
Premium gooner. I love it.
Premium gooner.
There's some top shelf shit.
I also agree with that take. Anyways, we don't have to talk about that.
The next one comes from ESPN FC, who reported that Borussia Dortmund's bench is watching their Club World Cup match from the locker room because of the heat. It is currently 87 degrees, 30.5 degrees Celsius in Cincinnati, Ohio, where the match is being played. And they're watching in the locker room instead of being on the bench as normal. Stuart Holden, a former Premier League player, former U.S. national team player, says this is the softest thing I've ever seen in football, 87 degrees Fahrenheit.
I've definitely seen softer things in soccer.
Oh, 100%.
So,
but again, context matters. Like, the FIFA Club World Cup, I've been watching a lot of it because it actually might be one of the only trophies that Juventus actually has a chance to win, because they're like the only European team taking this seriously. Yeah. These teams don't care.
Obviously,
they don't. I've actually been betting this. I've been betting the South American teams because they're actually going to care about playing the European teams. Yeah, sure, it's soft, 31 degrees to go. But these players, like, a lot of them don't give a shit. Look at some of these, the attendance at some of these games has been like 5,000, 10,000. They're playing in football stadiums that look completely empty.
I haven't watched it all, but I'm sure some of the teams who are playing, like the starters are on their bench who would normally play for them, and they're like, why the fuck do I care? If I'm not playing in this, why should I be on the bench? Like, the team doesn't care enough about it if I'm not playing in it. So why should I sweat out in the heat? Also, honestly, I get it's soft. If I were them, we live in Toronto, we have winter for a long time. Like, I'd like to enjoy the heat. I like heat.
Yeah, but you want to sit on the bench in this weather today?
Yeah.
I don't.
Let's do it.
Fuck,
Grab
I had
a
family
beer.
barbecue in this weather last night, right after Fleetwood gag. I was fucking dying outside.
I was outside for most of the day.
It was like I was in an
loved
actual sauna.
I was in the sun. I loved it.
So
Yeah, I might be dead tomorrow. You're having me golfing worse.
This was mostly Dortmund's starting 11 who was playing. So this is that.
Okay, fair.
That doesn't really line up. I personally don't like this. I thought it was really dumb. I'm no pro athlete, but I played in even hotter temperature on the exact same day as this. I managed to survive, and I'm not as fit as these guys, and they probably didn't have 10 beers the night before. So I think they probably could have been able to sit in 31 degrees Jacob, Celsius weather.
They're not going to be doing this in like a Champions League game.
I guess.
It's a fucking glorified exhibition.
I get
Let's call it out for what it is.
I get how the players don't care. The fans don't care. Broadcasters don't care. Nobody gives a fuck about this tournament.
Exactly.
I guess. I wouldn't say it's the softest thing. I did think it was.
There's way softer. Like we're talking about, like, no offense to soccer, but like that we've seen.
Dude, I watched Italy-Germany under 21s yesterday, where one guy got a second yellow. He didn't even touch the opposing player. No. Like that's soccer. This is the culture of soccer.
Next one comes from Jeff Benson. Says a very small part of me wishes PointsBet still existed and that Ship to Justice shipper was using his talent to profile all the sharps on this app. What prompted this tweet? I don't even know the backstory.
I don't know, but Geoff Fienberg got tagged in it a few times with the hashtag circle back. I don't know exactly what prompted this.
Oh, I replied to it. I interjected myself.
Are you looking for the tweet right now? Did you forget what you said?
I'm looking for something.
What are you looking to bring up? Do you want me to filibuster for you here? Because I also don't like Shipper. I don't really not like him. I just find it annoying that he watches all the content, complains about it on Twitter, and like tags us. It's like, if you don't want to watch, just don't watch.
The problem I always
like,
used to have with Shipper, and still do, was the amount of joy that he took in limiting other bets.
Oh yeah.
Like it was a source of pride for, and I get that when that's your job and you do it well.
Yeah, like
it wouldn't be me. I'll tell you that right now.
That's like the ticket officer going around the parking lot and he's like, I gave out 12 tickets today. It's like, you're a fucking loser. Like
that's kind of how I feel about it. That's actually a really good comp. Like
Yeah,
I like
good.
Shipper as like, I think he contributes a lot of I think a lot of his points of view are I mean, maybe I like them because they echo mine, so to speak, but I think he's incredibly smart and has a lot of takes that are nuanced in the space, and you don't get a lot of nuance. The points bet part of it always killed me. The limiting part of it, like even interviewing him the first time, it probably, the first and only time it probably took me about like 15, 20 minutes to get over that in the beginning, the amount of pride.
It's one thing. I don't give a shit about Shipper. Jason doesn't give a shit about him. He doesn't give a fuck about us.
Yeah.
He can shake that off. He would be crushed if he knew the people that came into my DMs to like thank me how big of a loser he is. That being said, I'll give him a bit of credit. I threw an insult his way. Like, he sucks. He clearly was a shitty bettor. He learned a couple things. Now he treats people like he's Billy Walters, right? I think it's a fair criticism of anyone who's actually paid attention to Shipper. I'll give him credit. He followed up by clipping Simon Hunter's
That was very
clip
funny.
of being like the descendant of
Oh, that
Billy
was so
Walters.
good.
So like, I'll applaud like
where I
well
saw
played
it.
internet.
Yes.
But he still sucks.
I had never
But
seen that clip
I've
before,
never
by
seen
the way.
it. When he sent the text, I'm like, I don't understand this, but he followed up the text with the video, and I couldn't help but be like, I'm tipping my cap here.
Yeah.
So there you go, Ship, a compliment.
Second last one here. I dislike giving this guy any more visibility, but when something like this pops up, we kind of have to talk about it here. Dip shared it at when you dippity. What does that say?
When you dip, we dip.
Oh, when you dip, we dip. Sorry. Keep promoting these guys, Elf, morons, and Narco Cop MMA at Narco Cop said, Satan, so that duffel bag full of cash, not libraries, or he has the exact same bag and the money is set the exact same way, just coincidence. So this was because Man at the Library posted a photo of a duffel bag of money. So they went to the casino to bet this much money on Pacers money line at plus 195. They wouldn't even take half of it, yet moved the line 18 cents. I'm not hitting it again at plus 177. That is criminal. Somebody copy and pasted this photo into the Google search and found that this exact same photo existed from Pinterest, which is likely where Man at the Library saved the photo from to post here. That was from @Fade Brody, who found that connection there. So great job to them. Just, I mean, there's no surprises really here, is there, Rob?
I would say certainly not surprising turn of events here. I don't know if he tried to explain this at any point. I don't really keep up with what he's doing. I wouldn't be surprised if he did try to pass this off as like him posting the picture to Pinterest or something like that.
That's what Elf's brother said. He said that hearing reports that somebody posted the picture to Pinterest to frame Man of the Library,
yeah.
which is obviously not true at all.
It's what people do every day of the
another
week.
burner account that's lying. Should we dox him? Like, I don't know. Like, that's sarcasm.
I mean,
But,
listen, at the end of the day, I'm not going to speak on him too much more. We've said a lot about him over the years. I think a lot of the stuff we've talked about just continues to get reinforced with the behaviors of him.
You know he's a lowlife for this, just based on the stuff he begs the sportsbook for.
Oh, yeah.
Like the series, he had a Pacers plus a game and a half.
Yeah.
He's like,
And he's like, can you grade this before the game? Please, 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 Jeffrey, please. And Benson's like, listen, man, that shit all gets graded after the game. When it's over, it's over. Like, imagine having that much money, but needing your like measly $18 ticket graded.
Well,
If there was ever a giveaway that someone did not show up at the casino with this
that
amount of money
Yeah.
to bet on the Pacers,
Yeah.
it was that this man got out of bed at 1 a.m. to go to the local boxing gym to get paid $1,500 to get his fucking ass beat in front of the internet. Like, if that wasn't the dead giveaway that he isn't betting millions of dollars on the game or the series, I don't know what is.
I just want to give last thing on this quick shout out. Dips, great follow.
Oh, Dips is amazing.
Great follow.
It is a good account.
You got to be careful who you vouch for because me and
please-
Kirk said we like the Adam and Earl show.
Please
before,
don't go crazy
And now
on me.
apparently I've told
Soft
everybody
vouch.
that Adam's a stand-up guy in the industry, class act.
Soft vouch,
If God
soft
forbid
vouch.
I say I like a piece of content out there.
If scroll through his feed and he makes me laugh. That's what I'll give.
I don't know. If it turns out he's involved in some scandal one day, you're going to be in trouble, Jay.
Yeah, I just think it's funny. So
What is that?
I mean, what is that?
It's gross. Some dirt? No, I just had to wipe Playmaker Dave off my shoe.
Oh, wow. Out of nowhere.
Holy smokes.
You've been saving that
You got
one?
a rampage today,
That
Jeff.
Was there actually something on your shoe, or did you just do the whole? Was that the whole bit?
The bit.
Because I was looking, I'm like, I don't see anything at the bottom of that shoe. There we go.
I was going to say, how did you not notice for 2.5 hours?
I had that workshopping in my mind last half hour.
That was good. I also kept touching you with my shoe because I
you
know
were
it makes you
playing
feel.
footsie the whole
I
time.
know it makes you feel a little
Like, I missed that
uncomfortable.
whole thing. Again, I'm not,
I was
I
like,
just
did I
woke
do
up in
that?
the morning to a bunch of DMs. It's like Playmaker Dave went off on Fienberg on one of the spaces last night. And then I went to see the account, and his account was deactivated. I texted him about it. He said he was trolling a little bit.
out of his hole soon. We've done this show for a while. So we are perpetually online.
Yeah,
It's not something I even brag about.
Yeah.
We interject ourselves in things that sometimes have nothing to do with us, whether it makes it to this show or doesn't. The biggest example obviously made to the show be Pizzola's poker thing. Playmaker Dave does almost what Pizzola did with the poker thing on every single issue in the galaxy of gambling Twitter. There's not a moment where he did not interject himself into something.
There's a lot of people
So
like that.
there is no way this rodent will not be crawling out of his hole to give his opinion sooner than later. He probably already is via vile burners, which he platforms. But his holier than now, self-righteous bullshit, it finally all exploded in that piece of shit's face. That's my opinion. Send Pizzola the lawsuit, but it's my opinion.
No, don't send me a lawsuit.
I don't think there was
You're allowed to
anything.
voice your opinion.
Yeah, I'm just clarifying. Sometimes the rules change. We get a few of them. Sometimes people get trigger happy. That's my
I'd
opinion.
rather
You
not
want good
deal with
conversation for Shabbat dinner, right? Like that's what you're looking for here.
It always it always gives me something.
Yeah.
Free consultations.
That's the second thing you've worked into the show today that wasn't on the script, by the way.
What?
You went on your whole spiel earlier about the Sports Gambling Hall of Fame.
That
out
was
of
more-
nowhere.
that
And he
was
brought
random.
Shipper up
Playmaker Dave,
earlier.
dirt on your shoe.
That the
You're working.
And he brought up Shipper. That's his third time.
No, Shipper was already.
the
it was in
and
the
I
show,
think
but he did it
Pizzola
early.
brought up Shipper. Pizzola walked me into that with a
that's
batting
true.
practice
That's true. That's
T-ball.
true. You're right.
The Playmaker Dave thing, not going to lie, probably been thinking about it for a
of
couple
course.
days.
Well,
I heard he said some pretty vile things about
Yeah.
you, and whenever that happens, I think you're.
And the
you're
craziest part about it is, listen, I've had some contentious conversations with Dave, but I've also had conversations like very normal
Yes.
and fine
Same
conversations, as
with
I
me.
think everyone has.
Yeah.
Him like making accusations about me, what I can only believe is because we disagree about Fats and McDonald's was one of the weirdest things.
I think it was probably, my guess, it was a troll gone too far. I think that's in his nature. I think he's honestly trolling people.
But I don't understand, because the other Dave is so like self-righteous and holier than thou. And if you, you know,
I understand.
If you enter a discourse and maybe aren't showing enough grace or respect, he's like the first person to slide in to let you know that, you know, you are not as righteous as him on this issue. And then to find out what he's actually about behind the scenes? No.
Well, we did a show on this channel before. It was me and Kanish, and we went through the best and worst Twitter accounts to follow. And Kanish named Playmaker Dave the worst Twitter account. Dave then messaged me saying, like, when are you going to have me on your show to talk about this and let me defend myself? I said, never. Get lost. Like, this is not the way the internet works. You have a shit account. Someone voiced an opinion. But then over time, we started chatting more. I ended up going to Vegas with him. Had a great time in Vegas with him, honestly.
Hilarious timing, by the way.
But then came back and we were arguing with each other over the poker situation. I'm like, I just don't want this in my life.
Yeah.
And I don't know. He's very, even for me, he's very polarizing. Like some days I just wake up and it's like we've been friends for years. And some days I'm like, fuck, I don't want anything to do with this guy.
Polarizing or bipolar?
Very possibly. I'm not a medical, but I can see that.
My medical, we should get one for the wall. My medical degree.
Yeah.
You have a medical degree?
Yeah, I diagnosed Stephen A. with ADHD.
Okay.
I've self-diagnosed myself with Tourette's.
Okay.
What else you want?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
He's got something.
I've got everything.
All right, we'll move on to the next one. This one's actually the second last one. At Boomer's Bet says, no way this dude posting a play that isn't an official play. Winnable guys are so lame. This is Alex Caruso once again, where he posted a play. OKC will find a way to make this close. It was OKC live plus 12.5 on the spread when they were down in Game 6 to the Pacers by 22 at the half. And he said, replied to it, said, not an official play for my betting card, but a nice side spot for those who think Pacers lay off the gas a bit. What do we think about unofficial plays, let's say?
Well, it's fucking lame. You either bet something or you don't bet it. There's no in between. You either literally take your money and you put it down on something, in which case it is official, or you don't. There's not a middle ground here in any way.
There is one middle ground.
Okay, you go first.
We speak about it often, but I give Chernoff a lot of grace sometimes for going on a show, being asked about a game.
But he's not positioning it as I've bet on this.
But he's also not adding it to a Pickett account to try and like inflate your numbers.
Right. But I felt like it was unfair to me when those were being added on his record by GR.
Yeah, but this guy's putting it on the record himself and then saying it's not on my record.
The way this is done is different, but like for instance, on the board YouTube channel, which is our NBA content division, The Hammer, we do picks, and sometimes if a pick isn't widely available enough, we won't make it a quote official play because not enough people can get it. It would be unfair for us to track this bet towards our record when most of the people watching cannot also bet this. So we want to bet it, and if you can bet it, but we won't make it official for the show. This is not an example of that.
This is a spread at the half of a game. This is a 64-42 Indiana at the half. He's betting OKC plus 12.5.
This is not an example of that.
This is a very widely available type of wager that's out there right now, right?
Yeah.
Listen, I see this way too much. This is another thing that tilts me about the space. You know, people are so focused on their record and this and that. Like, you bet it or you don't. If you're going to advise someone else to bet something, it's a fucking official play. It's as simple as that. Plain and simple.
What's crazy is official play, not official play. This guy doesn't disclose anyway.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't even matter if it's official or not.
This guy, frankly, is a joke.
He's a dork.
I mean, we've covered this dork like 5 times on the show.
I would like the space to get to a point where it is what he does is actually criminal.
Yeah.
All right.
I would like that too. Because it fucking is, Geoff.
Uh-oh.
Last piece here. Why don't you go ahead with this one, Rob?
Yeah, so I saw this tweet this week. I'll just read it. It's from Sportsbook Consigliere, Sportsbook Consig. Dave Sherapan is his name. Story time from the book. Almost 5 years ago, I woke up from a dream and was told you had a stroke. A few weeks ago, I was told you have cancer. 3 words, life-changing. Some of you have heard them. about you or someone in your life. When it happens, there is, and it continues to go on. So I just want to say this. I've known Dave Sharapan for a while now. I did a panel with him at Bet Bash a few years back, the infamous Darren Ravel panel with Fezzik and Benson as well. And frankly, he's a great guy in the industry. So when stuff like this comes up, bothers me because, listen, bad things happen to good people generally, but I hold Dave in a really high regard as a content creator, as a human being. So I just wanted to say, on behalf of everyone here at the Hammer and Circles Off, we wish Dave the best and would encourage everyone out there as well to keep him in your prayers and thoughts, because there's not many better people in the industry. You will be hard-pressed to find someone who dislikes Dave Sharapan. He's a very jovial, easygoing guy. A lot of people should strive to be what he is and what he contributes to the community as well. So on behalf of the entire community, Dave, we're all pulling for you. We hope for the best. And if there's any way that we can help you out in any way, you please let us know as well, and be happy to do that. So just wanted to say that because it's an integral part of the community. And whenever I see news like that, it kind of affects me personally. And wishing you well, Dave. All the best.
Dave is so good.
He really is.
'Cause I don't know him. And you know him, but I don't know him. But he's so good that I feel like I know him.
Yeah.
Like that. Like, yes, we follow each other. But I swear to you that if, like, I was in Vegas, I saw Dave, I would we would not be talking like we had just met for the first time.
I can say that my first conversation with him was exactly what you're describing.
It would feel
right
like,
now.
oh, that's my friend. We know, like, maybe the internet helps. I know what he's into. He knows what I'm into. But I feel like I know him. All the best to him and his family right now.
Yeah, I hope to run into Dave at Bet Bash, and best wishes on everything. But I know you're a fighter, obviously having gone through what you did with your stroke before, and hopefully you can fight this one as well, Dave. We're all rooting for you.
Best wishes to you, Dave. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.